Hello, hello. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the pat. That is not doing its job. Let me fix that. One day, everything could work the way it should. Immediately. There it is. Hello, hello. I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry, I'm slightly late to the stream. Also, my computer is going crazy, doing anything but something. Prompter, who are you talking to?
Oh.
Something. My RAM is like at 97%. I don't know why. Because I just started up my computer. I don't have anything open except for stuff I need for the stream and the game, but it's just like, please heal me. So that's what's happening. It's a lot of fun, not? Oh, it's at 91% now. Ooh, that's an improvement. But yeah, welcome back to Final Fantasy 15. We missed out last week because I slept through it. So I'm gonna jump back into it. I just started playing with the Xbox controller for real this time, so we now have Xbox controller inputs, which I'm not used to, so I keep pressing the wrong button even more often than I would usually do. So. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it and get to, I think, chapter 2 finally. Can't believe it. How long I played, I didn't even get to chapter 2. 準備できたら俺んとこ来て。まさか本気で手続きしているとは思わなかった。Smooth sailing, yeah. 動かしてんだが、職業柄ってことなんだろうが。でもアクセサリー屋でもあるんだよね。今日は船が出てないんですって。向こうの港で止められてるんだと。一泊するしかないな。I also used my fancy money. Well, not fancy money. I used my money to sleep here at the fancy lodging place, which gives you double the XP, so that's nice. Hurt my wallet a little bit, but it's nice. Sure am. Once you proceed, you will be unable to return for some time. Are you certain you wish to continue? Gee, I wonder why. It's bedtime. It's literally 7 AM because I just woke up. That's great. Yep, that's great. Okay, thanks. A man after my own heart. Wake up, sleep. This is the part where the movie happens. Which would be cooler if I'd actually seen it. Well, I have seen it, but that was years ago. With very little context. Is that? And why is it so loud? Wakey wakey.
Ohayo.
Your dad just died. Sup?
イグニスは
すぐ戻ってくるだろう。
よ。So suspicious.
なんだよ。どの新聞も同じだ。何が？オートが陥落した。はあ？何言ってんだよ。落ち着いて聞いてくれ、ノクト。落ち着いてんだろ俺は。インソムニアがニフルハイム帝国軍の襲撃を受けたらしい。
昨日の夜、調印式の席で騒ぎがあった。帝国軍はオート城周辺を爆撃。国王陛下が死亡。
おい待てよ。知らされていなかった。何がだよ一体。調印式は昨日だった。そしてオートは言うな。俺たちはオルツシエに向かってたさ。だが襲撃されたと報じられている。今朝の国内すべての新聞にだ。冗談だといいのに。
他に情報は？自分たちで見てくるしかねってことか。
ならインソムニアに戻ろう。危険がないとは限らない。ここにいたって同じだろう。
どうだ？
ああ。
You mean loading screen central? I think I waited for 6 full minutes earlier to actually have the game open up, and I was like, okay, I guess. Like I love these loading screens. Oh, we're driving. Am I driving? Oh. Well, no. Ignis is driving. Of course it's raining.
無事かな。無事なわけねえし。まだわからない。はあ？町も城も襲撃されてんだぞ。
落ち着け。
親父も騙されやがって。
おい。
帝国に裏切られたんだね。真実はまだわからない。だから戻るんだ。
Please don't down me, game. No! No! You're fucking kidding me. Yes, it did. I wasn't even doing anything. Except for moving my camera around. Please. And I didn't save in between me getting the good XP boost and, you know, starting stream just now. No. No. Please. Game. game. I'm too tired for this. I swear to God. This is stupid. I was like, okay, sure, we're gonna do a really low energy Final Fantasy 15 stream because I am tired, but not like this. Not like this. I don't wanna. Oh, I don't wanna. Oh, this is so stupid. No way. I don't wanna. I don't know. I don't wanna restart it all. No. We're gonna do something else. I don't care. I already started stream. We're gonna do something else. But how hard can it be? I don't know why it's killing my computer so much in the first place, but this is fucking stupid. This sucks. What am I gonna play then? I didn't think of what else to play. Oh man. How could this happen to me? I thought, okay, maybe it would just hang for a little bit because I was moving the camera around so much, but it actually just fucking dying on me. That's cool. That's great. I love that for myself. I don't have any of my other big games that I wanted to start playing soonish installed, and they're all gonna take too long to actually install while we're already streaming, I feel like. What a way. We've not even been here for a full 15 minutes. Holy hell. What else did I say I wanted to start playing this year? This sucks. Final Fantasy 15, why do you do this to me? I hate it! Finished all of these things. I mean, we could do a visual novel. It's not like I don't have 500 visual novels, right? Right? Ah. No, sorry. I do have to be a little mad about this right now because this is stupid. Just gonna put in some music while I try to find a different game then. This has not happened. What was the last game that crashed on us quite like this? Been a while. I haven't had games crashing on me quite as often lately. What else do I have? If I had it installed, I could just say fuck it and start Judgment, but I don't have it installed. So that's a no. Could do something completely different though, I guess. Oh no, I have it on PS5, but for one, I don't have my PS5 actually put up. And two, I don't have it installed on the PS5. Since I own it digitally, so... Unfortunate. Unfortunate all around. Okay. I know something else. I know something else we can do. I know something else we can do. I think. Man, roll dice for stream games for real. Nah, this is making me mad though. This is like, okay, I will set everything up so we can play Final Fantasy. I leveled a little bit so everything will be fine. And now this. And now this. Okay, whatever. Who cares? It's not like I have... It's not like I don't have 1,500,000 other games. But I really might as well put it... Very true! I found one. I found exactly one small red dye that we have in this house. Actual dye, that's funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, you know what? We're switching to a visual novel then, so I don't have to use my brain. I don't care, we're switching to a visual novel, and I'm not gonna use my brain. The only thing I'm gonna do is try and find out if there's like choices in that one or not. Seem to be. I can't find anyone talking about it, so let's see. Okay then, no finalist of fantasies. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna set up your game. Okay, hold up. Can I? Default font. Text color. Oh. Oh, okay, hold up. You guys can see in a second. Oh, let's try this. Let me turn the music down a little bit. The ambience is fine, the sound volume can go down, and the voice volume should be up. Oh, well, I don't... Great! Cool. Resolution, yeah, give me this game, and then I would also like to have this game on stream, and then we can go, oh wow, that sure is not Final Fantasy 15. It sure is something else. There we go. Man. I have no idea what this game is even about. All I know is this is a visual novel that came out relatively recently where Studio Elan has also worked on it. They have something to do with it at least, so... Test voice. Test voice?
Hi, my name's Olive.
Hi, Olive! Very nice. I think I can turn that down just a tiny bit. Right then! Different game it shall be. Story, custom, text color, music cues, text. Wow, that's a lot of options. Oh hey! Oh, cool, 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 cool. That's a lot of people. Okay. Okay. Twofold time then.
Whatever. If Final Fantasy doesn't want to work, we will play something I'm good at. It's a visual novel.
Oh, this is so stupid. Okay, 1 second. La, 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 la. Let me just tweet that real quick and then we can go. Is this voiced? Characters are voiced, so I don't have to read everything myself, which is always nice. There we go. The ambience noise is nice. Let's see. Twofold. Twofold. Okay, there's no one talking about any guides necessary, so let's see. New game! Wait, actually, let me tell you what the game is about, though, according to the Steam page, because that might be nice to know. The description. Yes, I am. I am. For once in my fucking life. Hi! In a bid to avoid falling out of college, Olive Penn inadvertently finds themselves caught in the middle of a feud between two club leaders whose rivalry seemingly threatens to tear the friendship apart. Oh, okay. You and the rest both of the Niflheim Empire. Hey, the game fucking died. Akira sold me out, damn. No, the game fucking crashed, so we're doing something else. I'm sorry if you're here for Final Fantasy 15, but I'm not troubleshooting that right now. Does this game have controller support though, actually? No. Not really.
College will open new paths for you, is what my mom had always said. I took those words to heart, despite my usual cynicism. Even as my high school friends drifted away from me over the years, and the stresses of moving out and living a lone mountain, I continued to believe in them. Then came today. The meeting with the advisor was never going to go well. Academic probation isn't a term thrown around in good circumstances. Even with all that, a 1.2 GPA was a surprise. 5 whole credits.
Oh.
After cruising through school before college, it feels like a bad joke when I repeat his coldly delivered words in my head.
I've never been to college.
My heart's sinking. I finally closed the door behind me. A chapter of my life closes with it.
Hey, wait, I want to see what the saving screen looks like. Oh. Oh, cute. Okay. Interesting design. Walking by the bike propped up against the wall, I shiver from the chill of fall running through my apartment. The practically non-existent insulation does little to keep the cold out, nor the noise. Without a roommate to share the space with, there's little to hear but the occasional passing traffic. I hardly mind, solitude is more comfortable anyway. Unfortunately for me, that same silence makes me focus all the more on my failure. Upon reaching the living room, I simply stopped. It's not like this should be out of left field. I'd stopped checking my grades on the school website, knowing full well the hours eaten up by work would take their toll. Been working late and studying early, it's all I could do to not fall asleep during lectures. Denial, that's all it was. Now it's caught up to me and I have no real way out. What do I do now? While I've tried to avoid burdening my mom, neither of us could possibly afford another semester or so of college if I failed out. I shuffled to the kitchen counter and grabbed a glass of water to calm my nerves. With little else available to distract myself from what I should be doing, I step over the phone on the sill and slowly drizzle the pebbles around it with water. I'm surprised it's still alive after all this time, having bought it when I moved here. Managed to take care of a plant feels like a bad consolation prize, given everything else I've messed up. All I can do is sigh and appreciate a chance to wind down a little by caring for the thing. The soil darkened and leaves shining from the droplets of water, I put down a glass and fall back onto the couch. Might as well get this over with. Fish the phone from my pocket and navigate to my mom in the contacts list. Then I press the call button. Anxious seconds go by as it rings before she finally picks up.
Hello?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Olive. How's it going?
Your mom's name is August and your name is Olive. That's an interesting naming convention.
I just got back from talking to my advisor.
What did he say?
You think I should turn down the music just a tad more, so you can hear the voices better? The cheery tone drops a little. She must have heard the defeat in my own voice.
It's... I have a 1.2 GPA. Only 5 credits.
I feel like I'm deflating as I sink further into my couch. I thought I'd be scared or frustrated at how bad this is, but that's worn off and become a dull emptiness.
Oh, honey.
The last tone of voice I wanted to hear was that sweet, concerned voice. It'd be so much easier if you just yelled at me, a sentiment I've thought more than once.
It's okay. This doesn't mean the end. I know someone as smart as my Ollie can find a way.
If I pulled off a decent GPA and passed all my classes and managed full credits for them, I'd still end up short. He did try to give me some options, but...
See, there you go.
I don't know if they'll do any good, Mom. It's an intro art class and a creative writing class. He even said they're basically filler.
Sound good though.
It sounds like it's something you should try, don't you think? You could easily tackle either of those.
I've never been good at that kind of stuff. You know that.
You can only give your best shot. I think that's more than enough. You've been through harder trials in your life, and you've overcome those, and you're so much stronger for it. What this means is that there's hope.
Hope. I really wish I could believe her on that one. This is one hell of a long shot. I did fine in topics like science and math back in high school, but I've never had an inkling of creativity. The art scene is also the last place I want to be anywhere near. Oh, okay. You are so not like me, for real, for real. Passing one of the 2 courses should give me barely enough credits to pass. Barely understates things. Then again, a pass is a pass and skipping a semester isn't an option financially. Mom would doubtlessly do her best to help cover the costs, a fact that puts a knot in my stomach. All this is just trying to rationalize away one simple fact. She's right.
I'll do my best. Sorry for putting you through this.
Honey, you don't need to apologize. I know there's a lot going on. I know you're doing what you can. You always have me on your side. Your advisor wants you to succeed too. That's why he gave you this option. I know you can do this. I'll see you at work in a couple of days. We can talk about this more there, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but try not to stress yourself out too much about all this. Maybe you can make yourself something to take your mind off things. It's nearly dinner time after all, so make something nice for yourself.
It's a better solution than drowning my worries in some greasy fast food, as much as I'd love to take the easy way out of any additional responsibilities tonight.
Alright. I'll try.
Bye, Olive. I love you. Just remember that tomorrow's another day.
Love you too.
Aww. With that, the line goes dead. The big moment is over. I rest the phone on the coffee table before me. Starting tomorrow, I have all of 1 week to decide on one of the 2 classes. A class that'll decide whether I get a college education or stay stuck in this rut for probably the rest of my life. All I have to do is pass an art or English class to do it. As the silence of the apartment starts gnawing at the back of my mind, I decide to get up and start preparing the dinner to distract myself. Prologue. This is a sequel to a free visual novel called First Snow that came out in 2020 that I did not play, so oopsie. But that's alright.
Okay, so we just got started. Hi, Zen. Today marks the beginning of the experiment. The drop period for classes ends next week, so at my advisor's suggestion, I've signed up for both the art and English lessons. Plans to sit in on both, decide which is best for me and drop the other. I only need one to survive, and I'd rather not stuff my already full schedule any more than I have to. Oh my god, and a normal voice afterwards as well. Okay. So here I am, sitting in art class. I've come back and forth on this all day, oscillating between I don't have an ounce of creativity, there's no way I can do this, and it's just a drawing, right? It'd be so hard.
And from there, we will cover the Futurist movement, which after its founding in 1909...
I think I've settled on there's no way for now. Try as I might to take proper notes, I have no idea what I'm writing down. But thank you for the bunnies. What the fuck? What was that? Psst. Psst, she says. Psst. What's psst? Are you just blowing all of your points at this point? A movement in the corner of my eye and a small chirpy voice beside me aren't helping. Hey, hey. The thing in my peripheral vision is shoved further into view. Glancing over shows it to be an open notebook, which I try to tune out. Oh, I don't think I have a command for that one set up so you can actually see that. Sorry. The notebook slides back and forth in response, tapping on my own book as I try to write. Everything only spurs them on. Now sure that they have my attention. What do they want from me? You tried, that's fair. You tried. I lightly slap my hand down on the paper, stopping the movements. Far from being discouraged, the culprit beams back at me as I glance over. Cast against the window beyond, her the girl smiles cheerfully. Two of us couldn't look more different as I stare warily at her, the sun behind her paling in comparison to her own bright nature. Aww, she looks nice. She gives me a thumbs up of encouragement, earning a bemused furrowed brow. I might as well humor her at this point. Hey, you look pretty lost. Are you doing okay? You need some help? What's a text assistant do? Is this the text-to-speech thingy? Oh no, that just opens it so you can read it. Had nil with points, but pets are free. Pets are free. This is for economic reasons, but pets are free. There is no need to put money on the pet. No, I would never make the pet something you have to pay for. I raise my tired eyes back to the author, only for her to resume her thumbs up pose. Is she genuinely interested in helping or just making fun of me? Just trying to focus. Would it be too rude to add that she's only making it harder? I decide against it and slide it back. Yeah, I know it's hard. This guy teaches it so boring. But listen, I know all about this stuff. I can help you if you want. Oh. Are you now? I look at my syllabus on my desk in front of me, full of names and terms and concepts I know nothing about. This class isn't just drawing at all. It covers everything from art history to social movements. My heart sinks at the sheer breadth of knowledge that will be needed. Yeah. As someone who was in the art department for high school, up until I graduated, it was always very funny to see people who were very much not in art say, oh, you guys are just drawing all day. It's like, we are not. And even if it was just drawing with like 15 different mediums,
you think it's so easy, please do it. Because it's not. The professor's droning lectures soon lost on me as my attention wanders to her notebook. Though she's dedicated a full page to this conversation, I can make out various notes about art leading to the back of the page, even if the handwriting is hard to decipher. My eyes drifting further, I notice another book sitting on a desk. An open sketchbook this time, its pages covered with drawings of this and that. That's in addition to the doodles and the notes she's been passing me. I'll be fine. Okay, sure. This class must be perfect for someone like her.
Yes!
Yes! Upon reading my note, she suddenly shouts aloud in excitement. All I can do is freeze as the attention of the entire class, including the professor, is instantly drawn to her.
Yes. Caprice. Is there something you need?
His pronounced sigh makes it all too obvious that he knows this particular student altogether too well.
Just excited and ready to learn. Is there something you need?
I like the effect. When one person, like the speaker, at the background is moving a little.
I need you to stay quiet while I'm talking. That's okay with you.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
She gives an exaggerated salute, which seems to satisfy him. There are a few quiet giggles around the class, not that she seems to care. She turns and sees me watching, which prompts her to give yet another thumbs up. And after a moment scribbling, to give yet another note in the corner of her page. Slug after class, I know just how to help you. I'm Caprice, by the way. Yeah, I heard it. She signs the note that I've already called her name from the professor saying. I figure I might as well reply one last time. Thanks, I'm Olive. Good. I have no idea the kind of person I've just agreed to talk to. Is she normally the type to pass notes and shout out during class? The last time I remember communicating like this is elementary school. Wait, actually, can I can make them smaller. Okay, that makes the text here a little better to read.
By the pet.
Oh! That was another box I didn't even see. Oopsie.
Olive!
Wait, hold on. Is there a log option in this game? Yes, there is. The rest of the class goes by uneventfully for better or worse. I try my best to take notes and follow along, but by the end the professor's ramblings and tangents end up overwhelming me. Yep. Art, history will do that to you. Before I can even leave the classroom, I'm accosted by my new acquaintance. I plan on waiting for her outside the door.
Olive, right? Olive!
Did you see this thing? In the back.
That's right.
I'm Caprice. Nice to finally talk.
She extends a hand, which I take. Her shake is surprisingly firm and fast, my arm being yanked around by the slight figure before me.
Yeah, so...
So, listen. I'm the president of the art club here on campus.
Ah. Oh.
Well, not the art club, but one of the art clubs. The better one. Forget about that other one. In fact, forget I mentioned it. There's only one art club, and it's mine.
Okay. Oh no.
And, you see, we're looking for members. Any level of skill will do. The best way to learn art is to work alongside your peers.
Hey.
So if you're looking for help, there's really no better way than to join our art club. We're all pretty much good artists who can definitely teach you anything you need to know. I can even offer you personal lessons. That's a generous offer from the club president, you know.
I have to stop this. I'm not looking for a club or anything like this.
Thank you. But I think I'll pass.
Oh no.
She retreats a step back, hands clasped together.
I came on too strong. I'm sorry. Don't worry about all that stuff I said. I do think we could help you, though.
I appreciate the offer, really. But I just don't think...
I'm not asking you to join. Just maybe come by sometime. Oh, I know. I'll set up a club meeting for you to scope out. I'll let the others know to expect you once we can decide on a date. No strings attached. I think you'd fit right in.
I can already tell she won't relent until I give in. I sigh. She's not going to let me go until I offer some kind of compromise.
Okay, sure. I'll give it some thought.
Awesome! Trust me, it'll be great! Anyway, I gotta go. See you around, Olive!
Bye. She pats me on the shoulder and runs out, leaving me in her dust. If I don't go, she definitely confront me about it next class. Well, I'm looking for a club to join though, and I'd rather not deal with someone so high energy. Maybe just sitting in won't hurt. I'll worry about this later. I've got places to get to as well. Oh, the next day. The afternoon shift at the diner has proven to be a slow one, much to my relief. With Mom off for the day and the rest of the staff otherwise unavailable, I find myself idly flipping through my art textbook at an empty booth. Contents are overwhelming compared to what I expected from a class like this, and I have to constantly remind myself that courses like this typically rely on participation and effort more than anything. Still hard to not stress out about it as my eyes glaze over foreign terms and information though. The small chime of the bell pulls me out of my trance as a customer sneaks through the door without me noticing. I bounce to my feet to greet her, trying my best to hide how off guard I feel.
Hey, welcome to the Bell House. Party at 1?
The Bell House? I go to retrieve a menu for the woman as she turns to meet me.
3, actually. My roommates should be in shortly. They're just wrapping up a conversation out in the car.
Got it. Booth it is then. Right this way.
I take a few steps further into the diner, ready to lead her to a spot near the back. I only make it a couple of feet before a voice interrupts my train of thought.
Hey Millie, catch!
She turns back around towards the entrance of the diner, handily catching a small keyring sent flying towards her. It takes a moment to get my eyes on the picture, a woman in orange and yellow seeming to be the culprit, and behind her... Oh no. There's no other way to rationalize this other than some sort of divine level prank, as the leader of the art club from yesterday is the last to enter the tiny space. Much to my despair, she seems to recognize me as quickly as I recognize her.
Ah! It's you!
It's me.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Oh, right. Haley, Millie, meet the newest art club member.
Ah, no!
Olive! I'm pretty sure their name was.
Pleased to meet you, Olive.
I am not. Her smile looks sincere, which makes a short pause beforehand even more concerning.
She got you roped into this without even having your name down yet?
She got it right on her first go, at least. I'm not in the club yet, though. Just testing the waters.
It's only a matter of time.
Uh-huh. Anyway...
Wanting nothing more than to be done with this interaction, I spin myself around and start making my way to the back of the diner and beckoning them to follow. It's hard not to notice Millie glancing at the textbook I'd left out as the trio passed by. The 3 shuffle in, Caprice and Millie on opposite sides, Haley opting to follow in after Millie. They pass on the menus and pretend to look busy by wiping down a nearby table. The 3 make idle chatter as they talk about our offerings. I'd like to say I wasn't eavesdropping, but the truth is simply that they don't end up saying anything interesting. It's not long before they settle on their orders: loaded fries for Caprice, a chicken sandwich for Millie, and a breakfast platter for Haley. The latter's a bit annoying to prep at this hour, but it's nothing I'm not used to at this point. I carefully set each plate in front of its intended recipient. The fries give me a bit of a scare with a near spill, but Caprice helps serve the dish in a nick of time.
Enjoy! Just speak up if you need anything else.
It smells great. Thank you.
With a small wave, I leave them to their meals, taking my seat back at my textbook a couple booths over. My eyes continue to glaze over the writing and images. The entire book is nothing but a jumbled mess to me, its more logical approach to the arts contradicting the hands-on approach of the class. To relieve the strain from my eyes, I occasionally glance up at the diner's current guests. Millie's quick to steal a fry or two, Caprice matching her own roommate's thieving by taking a forkful of hash browns from Haley's plate. The laugh and back and forth you'd expect from stuff like this is more subdued than you'd expect, but they seem to be enjoying themselves. And then Haley spots me. I try to avert my eyes back down to my book to feign ignorance, but it's too little, too late.
Hey, whatever your name was.
Olive. Hi.
Sure, let's go with that.
Excuse me. With Millie glancing over Caprice's shoulder and Caprice's head spun around, it looks like I'm not getting out of this. With a resigned sigh, I stand up and approach the booth again.
Don't suppose this is just you asking for a refill?
Haley seems to consider it for a moment, glancing down her half-empty cup before deciding against it.
Maybe in a bit. Just figured you wanted to chat with you staring longingly at us like that.
Oh, excuse me. Caprice and Millie share a glance. Internally, I cringe. Thanks for wording it precisely like that, Haley. I've known you for approximately 5 minutes and I already feel like hiding away forever.
Sorry, that textbook was giving me a headache and there's not much else to look at in here.
Studying at work is impressive, though. You must really be invested in the art class already, huh?
No, I'm gonna get kicked out of college if I don't manage to pass it.
Not at all, sorry to say. I've actually got another class tomorrow as a backup plan, in case the art one doesn't work out.
Oh, really? What kind of class, if you don't mind me asking?
Huh? Just intro to creative writing. Some small filler thing.
What?
Capri slams both her hands on the table in shock, her head quickly turning between Millie and I. Her reaction combined with a sudden grin for Millie has me an indescribable level of terrified.
Well, today's just full of coincidences. I
Oh,
happen to be
no.
the leader of the writing club on campus. We have our first meeting of the semester tomorrow afternoon if you're interested.
Oh no! She retrieves her wallet, pulls out a small business card, and scribbles a room number and time on the back before passing it over to me.
If the art club doesn't work out for you, I'd be more than happy to help however I can with your writing course.
And
Wait. Olive, the writing class is going to be a real challenge. If we're thinking of the same one, Millie took it last semester and I swear I saw her writing 8-page papers every other week.
I'd already been nervous about how tomorrow was going to go, and that definitely doesn't help matters.
You're exaggerating. Besides, that textbook Olive was poring over didn't look like much of a pleasant experience either.
I can't argue that point.
I can! I've had the same professor in another class. We'll hardly ever use the book. Either way, a little bit of studying and some doodling is a heck of a lot easier than what you went through.
Says the woman spending days at a time stressing about inspiration and color composition.
Caprice glares daggers into what I had assumed to be her friend, a far cry from a smile yesterday. Millie pretends to not to notice, going back to the sandwich after I tucked the card away in my back pocket. Turn to Haley, looking for some kind of explanation. I'm met with the raised glass, the half-melted ice clanking against it as she shakes it around. The long didn't read college because it's sucking at too much work. Yeah. Big mood. Good thing I never went to college.
Lemon line. Thanks.
Coming right up.
The next day.
The writing class ran longer than I would have liked. The professor definitely belongs in our course with a clear love of language and words. A lot of words. The syllabus didn't enter our hands until 10 minutes after the estimated end of class, and the rigorous requirements listed on it didn't make me feel any better. Given Miller's experience in the class, I want to go into the club today feeling optimistic, but in truth, neither leader has done a spectacular job of selling me so far. Room 26A, 5:15 p.m. I managed to turn the card over in my hands a few times as I navigate the halls of the building. Judging by the advertisement for a car repair shop on the front, it's probably some trash she had yet to throw away before she handed it off to me. Information on the back is a lot more useful to me at the moment. How the fuck did I just put out an advertisement? What the hell? Brain, I'm on the right floor at this point at least. Now it's just a matter of finding the right door. Is that a moose on the wall? The only thing unusual in this hall is a lanky guy fidgeting nervously outside of one of the rooms. Club room, as it so happens.
Huh? Oh!
Given by the way he jumps back, it seems my presence had gone unnoticed. Oh god! Getting a decent look at his face, something feels familiar, but I can't quite place it. His wide eyes seem to imply he's come to a similar sort of conclusion.
Olive? Olive Penn?
Do I know you?
Yeah, that's me. And you're...
We shared a few classes back in high school. I don't blame you if you don't remember. I go by Darren now. Darren Baker.
Okay, nice to meet you.
It's not until he offers a feeble handshake that I realize who I'm talking to. We weren't super close or anything, but having a friend of any kind around after a little over a year of solitude is enough to get a smile out of me.
I remember. Don't worry. You're looking good.
And you're looking the same as ever. Glad to see college hasn't changed you much.
Well, I think I might be overdue for a little change, honestly.
I'm agreeing with a small chuckle to play it off, which seems to satisfy him as he retains his smile. If only he knew the half of it. As much as I like to do a bit of catching up and continue avoiding the matter at hand, I'm becoming more and more aware of how late I'm running.
Anyway, are you here for the writing club too?
I glance down at the card to triple check the details before returning my attention to him. He gives a dejected nod without so much as even glancing at it.
Yeah. That was the plan, at least.
But?
Something up?
It's just more crowded than I was imagining it. Lots of noise and talking over each other. I poked my head in for a second, and that was enough.
Eesh. Yeah, I can't blame you.
It's good to hear that it's active at least. I can definitely sympathize with their own situation, and it's a sentiment I'd echo in any other scenario, but sidestepping it is out of the question. I've already committed to checking out Caprice's club, so at this point it's better to get as many options as I can.
Well, wanna check it out together? I haven't been looking forward to it much either, to be honest. But having a friend there would help. No pressure though.
I fully expect him to turn down the offer, not being shackled to the obligation like me, but instead his face lights up.
No, it's fine. Sounds good to me.
As soon as the door opens, the noise Darren warned me about becomes obvious. The corners of my mouth already felt heavy, but that's only intensified as I discover the source of the squabbling. In the back of the room is a small group of people talking amongst themselves, going to the counters for supplies. The lone woman sitting at one of the desks is entirely silent, tapping away on her phone as noises also from both sides of the room. And in the front is Caprice, arguing with Millie.
It sure is convenient that you picked today to do this.
It has to be today. There's hardly any time left to get all of this sorted.
You couldn't even wait a couple hours?
If you just signed the papers, we'd be out of here in 15 minutes, tops.
To continue the back and forth a bit longer before suddenly stopping and swiveling their heads as the door fully opens to reveal myself and Darren.
Oh, what a coincidence.
You knew I was coming. You heard Millie offer as much yesterday.
That didn't necessarily mean you'd show up. I thought for sure you wouldn't have bothered.
Millie seems eager to respond, but instead just stands there silently fuming. That of her retort almost scares me more than if she had actually chosen to speak up. Caprice seems unfazed by her friend's body language and instead turns her attention to the back of the room.
Hey, you guys! This is Olive, the person I was telling you about.
Oh my god, you need some sleep!
The woman glued to her phone doesn't react, but the four in the back turn around to faces. Having just a couple sets of eyes on me is enough to make me want to shrink it away into my vast, let alone six.
Oh, hi. I'm Allison.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Caprice has told us a bunch about you already.
What did she tell you? Because she's known me for like 10 minutes. There shouldn't be that much to tell about. A small pause seems to imply that's the end of that interaction, much to my relief. Allison bumps her elbow into the arm of the woman beside her, which unfortunately seems to be enough to keep it going.
Eileen. Yeah, good seeing you.
Hi
We're a
Eileen,
bit
you
busy
look
now,
like
though.
you haven't slept in years. God damn. And with that, she turns back around and continues piling miscellaneous colored papers and craft supplies under her arm. With a small sigh, Allison resumes her work as well. Confident she's not going to be getting any more out of the two, Caprice focuses her attention on to another pair of students. A tall and intimidating man casually leaning on a countertop and a stern-faced woman watching intently as Eileen and Allison pick away at the supplies.
The big guy's Wallace, our newest member, excluding you.
Hi, Wallace.
And the last one?
She's not with us.
Surprising amount of venom in that response, more than I think Capri's capable.
And thank goodness for that. Name's Tanya. Thanks for asking. I'm with the writing club. Millie told me you'd be coming today. Didn't mention there being two of you, though.
Oh, well, you know.
On that note...
Having had enough of this distraction, Millie makes her way back behind her desk at the front. She pulls out a pen and swiftly jots down her signature before beckoning Caprice over to retrieve the paper from her.
Here's my signature as assurance that I'll finish filling out the form after the meeting if it makes you feel better. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to actually have a meeting today, so I would appreciate it if you hurried up your pillaging.
Caprice opens her mouth ready to protest and decides better of it. She gives the contents of the paper a quick skim. It must satisfy her as she joins her clubmates at the back of the room.
Anyway, come in, you two. I was expecting Olive, but it's nice to see someone else joining us today as well. My name's Millie. Nice to meet you.
Hi. She sends her hand towards Darren, who reluctantly takes it.
Darren. Hi.
With a small shake and a smile, she ushers us to a pair of desks, then makes her way up to the front of the room. She shuffles around in the back looking for some sort of reference material.
You've got quite the fan club, huh?
The sound of my forehead hitting the desk is louder than any kind of argument Caprice and Millie could have. A sharp clearing of the throat from the front of the room is enough to drag my gaze back up, albeit slowly.
With all of that finally out of the way, it's time to begin the first writing club meeting of the semester. Welcome.
Can I see this full picture somehow? No? No? Very pretty. Ah, I can! Because it's scripted. To zoom out. Front and center of the room, open book in hand, Millie definitely gives off a natural kind of teacher vibe.
This club's one of the oldest in the school, so we have a lot to live up to.
Right.
Tanya introduced herself already. She's been helping me keep things moving for a while now. The talkative girl is Heather.
Giving up on her phone for distractions, Heather finally sets her down and gives a disinterested wave in response to Millie's equally lukewarm introduction of her.
So, it's not typically this busy?
Heather smirks, though it's hard for me to gauge why.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry about the bad first impression. Things are typically a lot quieter.
I don't even need to turn my head to imagine a look on Caprice's face. I brace for a response, but oddly enough, it never comes. While I'm sure the news is a relief to Darren, I can't help but deflate a little. It's my fault for getting my hopes up, but even I expected more than 3 people. Granted, Capricious 4 isn't exactly a huge improvement.
Don't let the size fool you, though. What we lack in quantity, we make up for in quality. Here, look at this.
She approaches Darren and I once again, passing him the book she was holding just moments prior. I lean to catch a glimpse and I'm met with chicken scratch. A lot of it. There's more ink than paper, and our trend continues as Darren flips a few pages.
The club can be a great source of inspiration and technical know-how if you'll allow it. I filled up this entire notebook and a couple others just in my first semester here.
I've never filled up a single notebook in my life.
And how many pages have you filled out recently?
Smoke from earlier has yet to fade, and as a matter of fact has only gotten bigger with a new remark. A grumble from the back of the room, from Wallace if I had to guess based on her tone, follows shortly after.
Plenty, thank you. The club's recent downsizing hasn't had any influence on that.
Oh? Even with the rest of her club, all 2 of them, not really winning me over. The work Millie has on display is impressive. At the very least, I feel like I could confidently rely on her, which is a plus.
Millie knows her stuff, I'll admit that. But there's only so much one person can do.
I jump up in my seat, throwing my head around to find Caprice standing over mine and Darren's shoulders, eyeing the contents of the notebook herself.
All I'm saying is that the art club, the entire club, would be able to help you. Unlike the writing club, our little circle looks out for each other.
Don't drag us into this.
Too late for that.
Without averting her gaze from the cabinet's innards, Eileen manages to swiftly shut him down.
Bold of you to hype your club up like that, given you didn't even bother to finish the paperwork to legitimize it in time for the fair.
I got a set of keys for a room and a bunch of like-minded artists. Being recognized as official would just be a nice bonus.
I'm pretty sure I have a pair of keys that you commandeered for yourself.
Hey, whose side are you on here?
Caprice's explosion is met with a small smile from Allison and an even smaller smirk from Eileen. They don't seem to be taking this too seriously, which honestly may be a point in their favor.
Thank you for offering to share your space, by the way, Millie. We appreciate it. Even if Caprice won't say so. Come on. not you too.
You're very welcome, Allison.
Millie has a genuine talent for mixing sincerity and an underlying smugness almost perfectly.
Anyway, if you're all done chatting it up, we're gonna need you out of here soon. We were promised 15 minutes and you've already used up 5 of them.
Yeah, we're going. Just give us a few minutes to finish grabbing everything.
Wanna help us out, new kid?
Eileen continues her work, not bothering to turn around as she addresses me. Likely for the best, given a mutual surprise on Caprice's and I's faces.
Huh? If you're being dragged into the group, you may as well start getting used to it sooner rather than later.
What? No! I was gonna bring them to an actual club meeting. Show them the best we had to offer. I had plans.
You don't seem like a planned person. I didn't expect Caprice to object before me. Eileen merely shrugs in response.
I also haven't really committed one way or another.
I've heard that one before. 3 times, actually.
Jeez, what did I do to earn all this sass today? To be betrayed like this, time and time again? It's more than my poor heart can take.
Caprice cranes her neck back and places a hand on her forehead in a display of theatrics, prompting a couple of smiles out of Allison and Wallace, while cries from the smoke that seems permanently glued to Heather's face. Thought of Heather's enough to remind me of my current situation, and I snap back to focus my attention on Millie and Darren. The latter seems content on to keep paging through Millie's notebook as a means of staying out of the conversation, but Millie's obviously trying very hard to hide her transparent frustration with a smile.
It's fine. It'll get them out of the room faster and we'll have time to catch up after you're done. Win-win, right?
She couldn't sound more disappointed if she tried, and boy is she trying. I don't want to flag on Millie or Darren, given I willingly put myself in here with them, but at the same time, it'll only be a few minutes and that'll tell me way more about the art club than a fully planned and rehearsed meeting would. There probably is a reason for all that says. Definitely. It's non-committal for now either way, so I guess it isn't a big deal, but it's hard not to feel anxious about it. What should I do? Oh. Do I get to save? No. Oh no! Oh, I do get to save. Never mind. Okay. Wait, no. My first one is always my main thingy for wherever we are. There we go. Oh, the artwork is so fucking adorable. Look at them! What should we do? I'm not gonna lie, from first impressions, I gotta say, I would rather go with the creative writing. So I'm gonna try and do everything to help her out, I think.
Well, my original plan was to check out the writing club, so I'm gonna stick with that for now. Thanks for the offer, though.
Well, can't say I didn't try.
The response to my decision is lukewarm, the only one showing any kind of emotion of it being Caprice, a slight frown appearing only for a moment on her face, despite her earlier protesting. It doesn't last though, replaced quickly with a typical smile and a small wave before turning her attention back to the club. That's good. Part of me hates to turn on this chance to dig deeper into the art club, but I can't bring myself to split from Darren after inviting him in. I feel like I've gotten at least a decent grasp on their personalities, if not their talent.
I really appreciate it.
Just making sure. You know I still haven't made up my mind yet, right? I just want to hear more for now.
I know, don't worry. Now, where were we?
She rests her chin on her right hand for a moment, rewinding the past few minutes in her head.
Could we talk about the club itself some more, maybe? You mentioned downsizing?
Ah, right. That.
Millie's focus continues, though looking considerably more dour than seconds ago. After taking some time to choose her words, her expression changes once again to a warm smile as if flipping a switch.
Well, everyone has to move on eventually. It just so happens that last year was the right time for a lot of people. It's just part of the college experience.
Well rehearsed and squeaky clean, all in a matter of seconds. You never fail to impress, Prez.
I'm unsure of how to process that, and it seems like Darren's in the same boat, with the only reaction from the three of us as a grimace from Millie.
As self-appointed club historian, I feel the need to point out that this great migration of yours only started after you took the reins, though.
Thank you, Heather.
No problem. As the last of the old guard, we have to look after each other, you know?
Oi, oi. Confident that she's successfully gotten under Millie's skin, Heather returns to tapping away at her phone, smug expression never once leaving her face. Heather's done her job of getting me curious about Millie's influence on the club, but it feels utterly futile to ask Millie directly about it. Left unsure of how to continue this conversation, I turn to Darren. To my surprise, he seems unusually nonplussed about Heather's interruption.
A smaller club suits me perfectly, actually. I was a lot more anxious when I came in originally and saw so many of you in here.
Yes, exactly. You won't find a better place to express yourself if you're looking for peace and quiet.
It's one way to look at it, I guess. Darren doesn't seem to match my skepticism, looking considerably more at ease with Millie's assurances. I must be doing a poor job of hiding my disapproval, as Millie is quick to shift gears once she redirects her attention to me.
But just because we're quiet doesn't mean we're an empty room. Tanya, can I borrow you for a minute?
Millie waves the woman in the back down. After giving the art club another cursory once over, she obliges her friend's request, casually striding up to the front of the room.
Hey again.
Hi.
I want to give you two a proper introduction to Tanya. She's the most recent member, but she's already been a huge help.
So, Tanya responds by grabbing at my hand and giving it a very firm shake before repeating the process with Darren. Given the way he gently holds the hand in question after the fact, it's safe to assume her group took him off guard as much as it did me.
Millie Woo, you two over yet?
I think she might be getting there.
Good to hear.
Well...
2 words, barely even words, are enough to get a simultaneous frown from Tanya and Millie.
Still got some hang-ups?
I'm just not sure the club has what I'm looking for, I guess.
Well, let's see if we can address that. What are you looking for here?
A way to not get thrown out of college, apparently.
Help with my writing class, assuming I stick with it.
Yes, I'm aware. Anything else?
The expectation in her eyes begins to wave after a few seconds of prolonged silence, making me feel as though I've disappointed her with my response. Tanya, in contrast, is practically beaming.
Is that all? Then you've got nothing to worry about. You couldn't ask for a better tutor than Millie here.
She gives her friend a playful shake on the shoulder.
What about you?
What about me?
I guess I was just hoping that I'd have more people around to bounce things off of than just the leader.
Oh.
She sheepishly rubs her head as she thinks, making a mess of her hair in the process.
That kind of thing isn't really my strong suit. I don't know if calling on me for writing advice would be the best idea you've ever had.
Oh? Before I even have a chance to air out my concerns, Tanya bounces back, pushing Millie forward.
I told you though. If there's anyone who could single-handedly drag you across the finish line, it's Millie here. Right?
Okay.
Well, I'd certainly try my best.
And so the pitch ends, closer to a whimper than a bang. It looks like Darren's probably been won over, sitting upright and excited at the premise of an empty classroom, but that same promise of a near-deserted club makes me sink into my seat. I reach over and grab the notebook from Darren's desk, flipping through it as I absorb as much of the barely legible print as I can. This club's likely a wash, but it'd be hard to deny Millie's own personal expertise in the subject. I wonder if she'd really be good at it. She'd really be enough.
So?
Millie sounds as uncertain as I feel, even with her friend still shaking her arms with a reassuring pride.
I'll think about it. Thanks.
I'll think about it is literally almost always a no. Except that I've chosen to stick with the writing club for a first playthrough. Friday, every student's favorite day of the week. Perhaps it's my imagination, but even as I head into the cafeteria, the chattering of the people around me takes on a slightly happier tone than the days before. As for me, my mind is still occupied with thoughts of clubs, classes, and my last-ditch gamble to survive the semester. My stomach grumbles, the smell of food from the tables only reminding me of my hunger. After skipping breakfast in my rush to get to school, I need something more than a cookie from the nearby cafe to get me through the day.
The food here is nothing amazing, but I'm hardly picky. At least lunch will be a brief break from my worries where I can forget.
Olive! No! Olive, hey!
So much for that. The priest waves at me from one of the tables. She has an uncanny knack for detecting my presence in a room, however crowded and busy it may be. I resign myself to my fate and take a seat as the woman next to her gives a small, polite wave.
Hi, Olive.
Hi! To make an odd contrast, Allison's shy, almost nervous greeting is stark difference to Caprice's overabundant energy.
So, managed to survive Millie's lecturing after we left yesterday?
It was pretty quiet and low-key. Nothing that extreme.
By quiet, you mean boring, right?
Hey now. Yep, it was boring and terrible. The typical writing club MO.
Now Heather has appeared, which can only make things better. Even though she's decided to walk up and invite herself into our conversation, she doesn't seem all that interested in giving us her full attention. Engrossed in her phone as usual, she barely looks up to address us.
What?
Caprice is visibly annoyed, with Heather's only reaction being the corner of her mouth tugging upward. Heather's passion for pressing people's buttons doesn't stop with Millie, it seems.
Well, Olive, don't feel obligated to give them the time of day. We'll get you through the semester easy peasy. Right, Allie?
Yeah, of course. Right again. The club is nothing more than a waste of space.
Why are you in it then?
Hey! Nobody asked you!
What? We're agreeing, aren't we?
I just managed to frustrate Caprice into silence, and as impressive a feat as any. She seems to notice my bemused reaction, face suddenly rebounding into a grin.
I still owe you a proper meeting. You'll come, right?
Aye aye. Why do I keep getting caught in these conversations?
We'll see.
Me too!
And all the ones after that?
Well,
Great! I'll see you then. I gotta take care of some stuff for the fair. Bye, Allie!
Don't listen to people when I speak to you. She shoots Heather one last venomous look before hopping out of her chair, beginning to head out of the cafeteria. Keep on the pad.
What about food?
And night time.
Already ate! Bye!
Bye! Odd. Must have just been keeping Allison company. Wait, what was that she mentioned about a fair? Before I can call out and clarify, Heather once again speaks up.
Why did you even come to our club when you were already playing house over with Mommy Caprice?
Allison takes to her feet and grimaces at the comment. I can't help but match her expression.
Please don't call her that.
That's a weird way of calling her.
Just keeping my options open.
This might be a good opportunity to help with that. I've got a member of each club in front of me, though not for long, as Allison picks up a tray of food and slips it onto the nearby counter. Heather looks unmoved by Allison and Caprice's abrupt departure. She takes a seat at the table next to me, barely looking up from her phone. Occasionally, she slipped from the can of soda she brought with her. She doesn't seem particularly enthused by the writing club, so I figured she wouldn't spare the unpleasant detail. That said, Allison does seem like the honest type, even if she is more loyal. If I hurry, I can still catch her. Right, okay. We are sticking with the writing club all the way. Oh my god, the heart is so cute. Perspective may help. Let's go. I'd intended to get some food, but that can wait. This is likely as close to her full attention as I'll ever get.
So,
Keep on the back.
about the writing club.
Don't ask me.
Girl, what? That was fast.
But you're a member, right?
Sharp as a tack. I was worried it may have flown over your head yesterday.
What is your problem? Except for the fact that you're called Heather. Why couldn't Tanya have been the one to find us here? I'm tempted to cut my losses and just walk away, but...
Are meetings typically like yesterday?
Who knows? I only show up often enough to remind them I'm still around. I'd imagine things are much less exciting with only Millie and her flunky loitering in a room together, though.
So Millie's the only one doing any actual writing, huh?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Tanya and I hand in papers every now and again if Millie asks. Gotta keep in the boss's good graces. You know how it is.
And you're doing a fantastic job of that, I'm sure.
If you're asking about the number of willing participants, though, I guess you're right on the money.
I don't know if I'd call a group like that the writing club, really.
You can call it a club all you want, but it's just Millie's hobby at this point. If she wasn't so obsessed, it'd be long gone by now. As soon as the old guard graduated, everyone left with them. It was just a bunch of friends. The writing side was totally just in the name.
I assume that's also why you were in there. Putting her phone down, she leans her chair back and begins to rock dangerously while staring up at the ceiling. It feels like she's talking more with herself than me at this point.
Wonder what I'll do once the thing's put out of its misery.
If it's that much of a bother, why go there in the first place?
Right.
To kill time?
You don't have any other hobbies?
That's it?
That's it. What do you want? An essay?
Girl. Much as I want to think less of her for it, there's plenty of people who just go to clubs to pass the day. If what she says is true, that's all the club was ever for before Millie tried to give it a point. As I ponder, Heather becomes restless. She stands and gives a loud stretch.
I'm gonna go get another drink. You want anything?
Quote is from Final Fantasy 15. When we started it out, at least. The first time I played it.
If you're offering,
And she's gone. I guess I should have seen that coming. As she walks off, I sigh in frustration. It looks like no matter which club I go for, I'm going to be in for a trial. Class still some time ahead of me, I find myself wandering the halls, going over my choices in my head.
Hey.
Sup? I just about bump into Haley, who's carrying some poster board and other materials.
Whoa. Hey. You need some help?
Without answering, she shoves some of her supplies in my direction, which I take. I already have a general idea of where she was heading.
The gymnasium, right?
Smart. Come on, you've been drafted.
She goes, and I follow.
So, how'd the meeting go yesterday?
Awful.
You didn't hear about it?
Oh, I heard tons of things. But I'm interested in your perspective.
Yeah, like, the idea of a club? Yes, but I would only go there if it is something I actually enjoy. Like, I was in theater for both 5th and 6th grade. That was fun. But, like, I wouldn't spend my time in a club that I didn't even enjoy what they were doing in, because there's so much other stuff I could be doing to spend my afternoon, spend my time, I don't know. You want a Pikachu? Okay.
Pikachu! Pika! Pikachu!
What's a hi? Long time no see, how you been? I would love nothing more than a 5-minute mental break from the caprice of Millie wore. Unfortunately, it looks like something I won't be able to avoid anytime soon.
Well, I'm not even entirely sure what happened. It felt like a sudden whirlwind.
But you don't have to apologize. Don't worry. Just hope you've been well.
Yeah, sounds like them.
I wonder, three people being roommates is always awkward, though. I feel like, because at that point it always ends up being 2 against 1. Or maybe I've just heard too many things about it not working out that way. As we enter the large building, I see that the area has been filled with tables arranged in rows. There are students running about, readying their boots.
Hey, where are we taking all this?
Over here.
I follow her to a table, or what's supposed to be a table anyway. Instead, I find 2 smaller booths crammed inside a same small space covered in red and blue cloth. One has a very formal-looking sign which reads creative writing, and the other has a very slapdash sign simply reading art, clearly written by the same hand.
You get the rundown on how they're sharing a spot already?
More or less. I remember them packing up a lot more than just a couple tablecloths and posters, though.
The art club is off turning all that into brochures and other promo material for the 2 right now. This is all just bare bones stuff.
I'm surprised Millie trusts them enough to handle that.
Haley tucks her armful of supplies safely under the writing club's desk. I follow suit, emptying my hands as she lifts the cloth up for me.
Millie gets along well enough with all of them. It won't be an issue.
Could have fooled me.
Things are just complicated right now is all. You saw how they were at the diner.
Yeah.
Are you talking about their friendly small talk or them trying to poach me from each other?
That's why I called it complicated.
She brings her hand to her headphones, debating pulling them over her ears. After a moment, she thinks better of it, deciding to instead lean lazily against the writing table.
You're committed at this point, right? You're gonna be picking one or the other?
I kind of have to, yeah.
Yeah, that's about as far as I've gotten in my thinking, though.
No particular feelings so far?
I don't know how to say this, but almost every voice we've heard so far has been very like this. All very, oh, I am too above my emotions. There's no emotions. I just speak. And I'm not sure I like it. It's a little... Go back into office. Ah, I see. I see. Yeah, I feel like here as well, they're really like rolling back the whole, oh, you can work from home thingy. Because, ooh, everyone needs to go back into the office again.
Ugh, tons of feelings. Most of them dread. It all sort of cancels each other out.
Low energy slowing through the day to me. Yeah. On the other hand, that's perfect. I napped earlier. But I still feel tired. I didn't get enough rest tonight.
Well, good luck.
So that's good.
Wait,
for me.
What's up?
That was just Millie stuff. Gotta head over to the art room now.
Want me to come with you?
I've got it covered, thanks.
Once again, the headphones coming up signify the end of the conversation. She pulls herself up from the table and starts making her way past me without any further elaboration. It may be impossible to decipher Millie and Caprice's goings-ons, but trying to get a read on the roommate is an entirely different experience. I debate sticking around to catch her again, but decide against it and make my way out of the auditorium, going out of my way to leave through the opposite doors. Oh, we're sticking with writing. Next day. It's a nice apartment. Today marks a day so rare that I can't remember the last like it. Something so monumental that full implications haven't yet settled in. A day without school, study, or work. The sizzling of bacon rings in my ears, its smell playing on my nose. With time on my hands for once, I've decided to start the day with a simple pleasure. A piece of eggs and bacon for a late breakfast. As I nudge the bacon with the spatula, I take a sip of the steaming coffee beside me. Unfortunately, my skills in cooking haven't translated to my skills as a barista, the concoction proving foul. If it weren't badly needed caffeine, I'd have tipped it out already. The little cactus sitting on my windowsill catches my eye. Still catches my eye. My pride and joy, as embarrassing as that may be to admit, easy to take care of too.
Looks like you're doing better than me these days.
My words to the plant go unheard. Living alone isn't the easiest thing. Every chore, meal, and errand needs doing myself, after all, but it is comfortable. I can do things in my own schedule and eat at my own pace. Solitude might not be easy nor cheap, but it is simple. Pleased with the plant's quiet and unassuming company, I take another sip of my foul coffee. A distant ping from the couch announces a received text. Considering how few people I know, it's either mom or work calling in to ask me to help cover a shift. Knowing which I prefer, I turn on the heat on the stove and walk over to pick up my phone. Ollie, are you home right now? Hover near the top or bottom, use the mouse wheel to scroll through the text. I mean, there's only one text right now. Okay, cool. Thanks. Unlike me, she had work today. I look at the time. Not even noon yet. If she's texting me now, she's probably just getting off her opening shift. Yeah, what's up? Mind if I drop by for a bit? Maybe over lunch? Sure? Great! Yay! Great! See you then. See you. What's the mom gonna look like? She's fussing over me again as she so often does in quiet moments. It's hard not to notice this happening more often now that I'm living alone, though she's never outright admitted that.
Not that it really matters. I cherish any free time we get to spend together, and it's not like I had anything in particular planned for the day ahead. Besides, she can probably lend some more insight. Mom sits at a small table with shabby scuffed wood adorned with a small pastry box she's brought with her from the diner. It's a bit of a comfort to know that even living apart, she still brings extra treats for me. I'm thankful I had a light breakfast.
Honey, you really didn't need to cook for me. At least let me help.
Aww.
I was going to cook
got the
lunch
green
for
eyes
myself
from your
anyway. Whether it's for 1 or 2 people, doesn't make that much difference.
I carefully bring 2 plates over from the kitchen counter, each loaded with chicken, vegetables, and rice. Despite her protest, Mom's eyes widen at the meal as it's placed before her, still steaming away.
This is better than having to cook for yourself. You deserve better than work food every other day anyway.
She smiles excitedly at the plates, shifting the box to the side.
It looks as good as it smells.
Thanks. So, how's work?
I take my seat next to her upon placing down my own plate of food. Mom talks about her days as I sit and take a knife and fork in hand.
And she's yelling at me. Her baby is crying, and her other kid, oh, I'm telling you, they had the most embarrassed look. But what can I do? Except apologize. And of course, she didn't even tip.
Sorry I wasn't there to help you deal with that.
I'm glad you weren't there. Speaking of which, how's your day off been so far?
Oh, boring. Stressful.
What did you do?
I sat around here, mostly just a lot of thinking.
Ollie, it's your day off. At least take some time for yourself.
I was thinking not time for myself.
With what's been going on...
Still turn up about your classes, huh?
Yeah, guess so. And things just keep getting more complicated.
What do you mean?
I explained to her about the clubs, between the meeting from a couple days ago, the upcoming fair, and the feud between the 2 leaders. She listens attentively, her expression varying between interest and concern. I feel myself deflate further and further as I talk, the hopelessness of the situation becoming all the clearer as I put it into words. It never quite sunk in until now just how bad my options are.
I really don't know what to do, Mom.
Aww. She has that soft, caring smile I've seen so many times in my life.
I know it's tough, but look at it this way. Even if they're fighting, the club leaders have been nothing but nice to you, right?
I guess.
Sure. Maybe a bit too nice.
They hunger for fresh blood for the clubs.
I just don't know how things will go. My whole college career hinges on this.
You're more resilient than you give yourself credit for. I'm sure you'll pull through. Everyone wants you to do well. I know you won't regret your choice, whatever it is.
That's easy to say.
It's true, though. You're wasting your day off stressing over it. Take the rest of the day for yourself. Relax, do something you enjoy. Don't make it another day of stress. That way you'll be going to this fair with a clearer head.
That's easier said than done. She does have a point though. I can't do anything more than I've already done at this point. It may not sit right with me that my future depends on people I barely know, but those 2 are who I'm stuck with. I have no choice but to gamble on it.
I'll try.
That's my Ollie.
She gives me a hug and a kiss on the forehead.
Now
what? She pulls out the pastry box from earlier and places it on the table.
I brought a slice for each of us. Which one do you want? I'll let you pick first.
Inside lies 2 slices of pie, signatures from the diner we work at, 1 slice of... Wait, 1 slice of blueberry and 1 slice of cherry. If I didn't know any better, I think she had done this on purpose. Few days later. Mondays come around again. I took Mom's advice and tried to relax after she left yesterday. I don't know if I succeeded. I feel like I've come back from an exhausting weekend. Today's the day of the fair. I'm not sure if I'm sold on either choice yet, but I don't really have time to mull it over anymore. I went over it again and again. I'm hoping seeing them at the fair today will finalize that.
With the morning study over, the cafe beckons for a quick pick-me-up before going to war in the club fair's gymnasium venue. Never having been to this kind of event before, I expect chaos, especially so given the circumstances.
Hi, Mary. Yes, we are. How are you?
How long is this game? Heading in, the place is thankfully quiet, with a scant few students quietly sipping lattes while tapping on laptops or hunched over books. It wouldn't feel unusual any other day, but right now it feels like the calm before the storm. A particular lanky girl catches my eye as much for her bright getup and headphones as anything else. Haley sits quietly as she listens to her music, hand in chin with a small coffee beside her. For someone so mild-mannered, she sure stands out. She picks her head up and waves me over. Some work to do, so you're gonna be listening along while I work. You do that. Enjoy. This one you can listen in on because everything people are saying is voice and everything else I'm reading out loud. So for once, there's really no downside to just listening, as long as you understand English. Pulling up a seat, she rights herself a bit and takes a sip. The grimace shows that it's either cold or bad. Probably only bothered to avoid being kicked out for hanging around without ordering.
Hey.
Hey!
Hi. Done with fair prep?
Yep. I helped them finish setting their tables up this morning, so I've got the rest of the day off till the car ride home.
Nice.
It's bound to be an awkward time after the fair today.
Haley can only give a weak shrug in response.
Caprice doesn't ride with us much nowadays. Dinner the other day was just an exception to the rule.
Huh. I wonder how I should read that. The meeting was definitely a bit tense, but I didn't think it'd be to the point where they'd be avoiding each other to that degree.
Are things okay? Like, between them, I mean.
Her face remains as deadpan as ever, but I can faintly make out a raise in her eyebrows. I guess a question like that out of nowhere probably deserves a reaction like that.
They've just been having some personal stuff going on for a while, and things are volatile. Nothing.
Probably.
Sorry.
Would it make you feel any better if I said, definitely?
Fair enough.
I pinch the bridge of my nose in frustration, an act that apparently does not go unnoticed by her.
This stressing you out that much?
You don't know the half of it. The situation on my end is pretty dire.
You'll be fine. Promise. I mean it this time.
How do you figure?
If you're just worried about your grades or whatever, they'll both make sure you get to where you need to be. They've never let me down anyway.
Another sip of her coffee, supposedly forgetting about the reaction she just had to it. As expected, her face contorts immediately in response.
Even if that's true, being stuck in the middle of those two like this just makes the entire thing feel more overwhelming than it probably needs to be, you know?
Yeah, well, join the club.
I've been stressing about just dealing with them this morning. I can't imagine actually sharing a living space with those two. I want to feel pity for Haley, but the small smile on her face makes me second guess that decision.
Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Content that her joke landed, she pulls her headphones back over her ears, our conversation at its end.
Get your drink and get out there. Don't let me keep you. Good luck.
Alright. Nice talking to you.
Yep.
Yep. By the time I arrive, the club fair is in full swing. There must be hundreds of freshmen with a scattering of second years here and there fill the hall and mill about. It's interesting to see which ones look like they're on a mission as they head directly for a particular club, compared to others who peruse the tables as if browsing in a farmer's market. Try poetry. What's the other one? Clubbing. Okay. Dozens of small stalls are lined up with varying amounts of work put into them. Kites or flyers sit on each. They are outstanding or props set up to try to catch the gaze of passing students. Most of those behind club tables look more bored than anything, some having checked out completely as they lean back and browse on their phones. The occasional happy shout rings out as old friends recognize each other, but for the most part it's a surprisingly subdued affair. And
and I suppose I calms the nerves a little, but not quite enough to really feel comfortable. Running along the aisles, I casually note the more niche club entries such as robotics, fighting games, and fencing. I could probably be persuaded to join a couple of them under different circumstances. Nearing the end of one particular aisle, it isn't hard to spot, or should I say here, the art club's turn.
Looking for fun? Come to the art club! We're accepting anybody, no artsy experience required!
Sounds about right. Millie sits beside her, hands together on the table as she patiently tries to catch the eyes of those passing by. The formal act strikes me as a little put on, not helped by her occasional slips when Caprice gets louder than usual. How these two could live together has me beat, yet here they are, the two small tables stuffed into one assigned space together. I feel like I'll never fully understand the relationship these two have. Then it happens. Oh, boom! Caprice and Millie both set eyes on their prey at the same time. Far from a fight breaking out, an intensely awkward silence reigns between the three of us as they carefully maintain their smiling facades, the occasional student passing by only accelerating the standoff. Sighing at the cruel fate assigned to me, I realize I'll have to take the initiative.
Alright, so we all know what's happening here. Let me hear it.
If I may, the writing club's a great working environment, and you could get a lot more done in a peaceful workplace than a party. And being a real club, we have actual resources and didn't have to rely on sneaking into the club fair to even be here.
Even if she's too eager to bite, Millie isn't really wrong as she sneaks a smug look to her right.
Shows how much you know. I actually did the paperwork.
And yet here you are, sharing my allocated space.
I don't need to explain anything. Olive's seen how great we are already.
Caprice on her own definitely has an overwhelming personality, but her club seems mellow enough. That combined with the fact the art class is likely to be easy overall is tempting. Writing club on the other hand, well, Millie herself seems really into the subject matter at least. Even if the rest of the club isn't much of a factor, it would be hard to find a better tutor.
So, have you made your decision?
Let's hear it!
Whichever club I pick, I'll have to drop both the other club and the other class. There's not much chance I could do both and follow the paths. Join Millie's writing club? Or join Caprice's art club? Or make a save right here, so I can easily jump back to it. We would say we start off with Millie. I love this chibi artwork so much, it's so adorable. Millie.
Sorry, Caprice, but I think the best shot I've got is with Millie.
Palazzo Caprice's face sinks a little, though at least Millie has the grace to give her a moment to deal with it. She bounces back in true Caprice fashion, selling for pouting as she sits back down in her chair. Millie takes the response as a cue.
Thank you, Olive. Pleased to have you aboard.
Oh, I get an achievement for that. How bad could it be? Join the writing club or what little is left of it. She catches herself and reels her excitement back in, though not quite quick enough for it to go unnoticed. Even if she was successful in writing her tone, the large smile on her face is still as obvious a tell as any.
Your first club meeting will be on Thursday evening then. I'm sure you know the place.
Have fun being bored with boring people. If you want to switch, the door is always open.
I'll keep that in mind.
Thanks. That's the nicest no I can muster. I have to make sure I can pass, and the writing club's the best chance of that. Saying my goodbyes, we agree to meet later before I take my leave and head out from the gym. Writing club. If nothing else, at least there's some comfort in knowing what I'm in for. The next few months are going to be a trial, but Millie definitely seems the better tutor for dragging me past the exams. Only one way forward now, I guess. I'm still struggling with the idea of putting all of my trust into a single person, but it's the best option I have. Even if her smile was just a result of her winning her little war with Caprice, something about it manages to reassure me at least a little. Oh, by a thread. Finish the prologue! It takes a moment for my eyes to adjust as I step out into the dazzling sun.
It's a Thursday evening, and that means everyone at the live is leaving the grounds as fast as their legs can take them. Everyone else, myself included, is walking right back into the campus. I pick up my pace as I walk. It would look bad if I was late to the club I just joined. Reaching the arts building, I wait for the flow of students escaping the day's classes to taper off before squeezing inside and leaving the beauty of fall behind. Looks like a full house today, as sad as the idea is. The only sound to be heard is the squeak of a marker on the whiteboard. Millie shoots me a polite smile as she notices me enter before busying herself further with her very important work. Tanya rocks a chair while looking out the window. Heather pathetically plays with her phone, and Darren dutifully writes in his notebook. Taking off my backpack and swinging it beside me, I take a seat in the front row with the others, the only open seat being next to Heather. And imagine why. As the seconds roll by and at a loss for what exactly I'm supposed to do, I busy myself with looking around the mostly empty room there. Really, almost totally empty room. The desks are organized into a perfect grid. Spare pencils fill the pen holders on the benches around the room. The teacher's desk, commandeered by Millie, is neatly organized with notebooks and folders. Everything is perfectly set up for the class ahead. Standing alone at the front of the room, Millie looks more like an actor playing a part in an empty theater than a club leader. She's taking her time comparing the notes in her well-worn journal to what she's writing on the board, but she's coming across as more nervous than diligent. In my wandering thoughts, I lock eyes with Heather for a moment. I offer a polite smile. Being that we're in the same club, for better or worse, it's worth at least trying to get along with her. Rather than return the awkward greeting, she simply rolls her eyes and goes back to her phone.
Wow, the art club was that bad, huh? Caprice must have left a pretty horrible impression for you to end up here.
She doesn't look up from her cell as she talks, scrolling through her social feed way too fast to actually be reading anything on it.
What? No, it's not that. This just seemed like a more legitimate club.
Heather scoffs at that, half smiling in a way that mocks more than words possibly could.
What is it we're actually meant to do? Beyond writing, that is.
Show up every Tuesday and Thursday. So long as we have an extra warm body in the room, the club doesn't get killed off.
The snap of Millie's notebook closing takes my attention, our teacher turning back to the classroom. Heather pointedly turns slightly away from me, ending the conversation.
Welcome to another meeting, members new and old. I'll get right into it, since I know everyone's busy. Everyone will do some writing today on a topic they'll choose. You can finish your stories off after the meeting if you don't find the time today. At the next meeting, we'll share our work with each other. That'll help us all gauge where we're at in our writing skills and what we'd like to focus on going forward.
Unlike the dead silence from earlier, Millie's trying to project her voice in a loud and clear way, even if it's only the four of us. Whatever issues the club may be having, I'm reminded of why I thought it was the better choice. She's earnest, and at the very least gives off the air of a good teacher.
Question, Miss Clark. How long does the story have to be?
Only as long as you want. This isn't classwork.
Lucky us.
And like Tanya's somewhat rehearsed sounding participation, Heather isn't even hiding that she intends to do nothing. Darren looks like he's copying down the notes on a whiteboard, so that leaves only me left as Millie turns towards my direction.
If you need any help, don't hesitate to ask.
I don't know where to even start, to be honest. I haven't read a book on my own time since 5th grade. I'm better at more logical subjects. The arts aren't really my thing.
The world isn't so neat that everything can be divided up into logical or creative sorts. A blank page is always a writer's worst enemy, but this is a writing club, not a workshop. We can work through it together.
She closes her eyes, giving serious thought as how to best make do with my less than useful outlook. To my surprise, it doesn't take long before eyes reopen, a newfound sparkle in them.
Tell me, where do you think a story should start?
Depends on the story.
The beginning?
Wrong. A story starts with a plan. A story without a plan is just a meandering series of sentences.
I wasn't prepared for this passion. Glancing sideways to see if this is considered normal, my neighbor sits there unfazed, apathetically scrolling her phone. That answers that then.
So, let's start at the real beginning. The highest layer of writing a story. An idea. Someone give me a one-sentence idea for a story. No details at all, just the elevator pitch.
A knight saves a princess from a castle.
Fair. Tanya jumps up, suddenly looking way more excited. She smiles as Millie claps her hands together and writes it on the board. I appreciate her input. The atmosphere of the room changes ever so slightly in the spirit of collaboration.
Excellent. That's a high-level story concept. Ideas are quick and easy to come up with, but finding one you're excited about is the most important part. Now, down to the next layer. What 3 things should any story have?
She pauses and looks back to all of us. Tanya sits back down and looks around to the rest of us for help. Seeing me look entirely lost and Darren avoiding her eye contact, Tanya gives Heather's desk a small kick. Well, a regular kick. Heather responds with an annoyed "Shh" and dives at the ceiling as she responds. Consider everything about Heather, that was a pretty tame response. I wonder how often something like this happens.
Introduction, conflict, resolution.
Thank you, Heather. Now, Tanya's story about the knight and the princess needs an introduction, a conflict, and a resolution. Darren, could you fill that out for us?
I guess it'd be... The knight and the princess's situation is set up for the introduction. The conflict is the idea itself. The knight has to save the princess. Then, I guess the resolution is for the princess and knight to get married and live happily ever after.
Almost there, but the conflict needs to be an obstacle to reaching the conclusion. Why does the princess need saving? What's in the way of the two being together?
Usually, it'd be something like a dragon has her locked up.
Good, but now this story feels a little too formulaic. How about for the assignment this week, you all write the story of the princess and the knight with your very own twist. Something to make the story uniquely yours. There's one last layer before we start writing in earnest. We have our outline, but now we need to attack the structure. How do you approach a big project? We need to take our story outline and break it up further into chapters. If you like TV shows, think of them as episodes, or maybe as different scenes from a play. How about 3 chapters, or just paragraphs for a short story, between each of the introduction, conflict, and resolution? You can change that as you go if things don't feel right, but that gives us a framework to hang our story on. There, does that look like something you can write?
I can kind of see it in my head now. Yeah. This whole process doesn't feel very creative, though. I mean, carefully dissecting a story into layers and components feels a bit clinical.
A sparkle shines in her eye. I've stumbled into something she wanted me to work out for myself.
So clinical that you might say it's almost logical?
Tanya gives an amused snort from the other side of the class, and even Darren smiles a little at that. She got me. She was leading me to that this entire time. Millie leans back on her desk behind her and lets me stew for a moment.
There's no clear line between creativity and logic. You need both to write, or make any sort of art. To paint a person, I imagine you need to understand anatomy. To write a story, you need to understand structure and how readers will think. Don't get hooked up on being as imaginative and original as you can. Just practice. Right after a while, you'll come to intuitively understand why some things work and others don't. Like a driver slowly learns to work a car without thinking about how they're doing it. And when you're stuck, you can always talk it out. Giving each other feedback is the most important and fun part of writing. So take some time to plan it out, think of your knight and princess, and ask around if you're stuck. We can all share our stories next Tuesday.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. The room's already awash in the orange of sunset by the time I sit up to take a break. With the meeting winding down, the rest of the members having largely stopped paying attention to their notebooks, I look down at my own. A truly awful mess of words looks back up at me. Stuff like this makes me question the entire premise of writing. How can I mess up so badly at doing the very thing I did back in high school English? With that said, I can't deny that breaking down the stories Millie said has already helped a lot with the entire process. I think back to the literature textbook sitting somewhere in my apartment. The language was more difficult, but the whole point of the class has been about finding author intent and how it's successful.
I'm still not confident in being able to identify what makes a good story, but having the vocabulary to start thinking about its components is a relief. As much as it seems like basic stuff, I can't help but be a bit annoyed at myself again for checking out all during my high school English classes. My saving grace right now is Millie, who seems more than happy to use club time as a teacher rather than a fellow club member. The ruffling of papers as people pack out makes it clear everyone else is either done for the day or giving up. Following their lead, I slip the pens and paper into my bag. With Darren still fussing about, Heather preoccupied with her phone, and Tanya chatting with Millie while sitting on a teacher's desk, it looks like I'm the first out as I give our leader a quick wave for passing.
Oh, before you go.
No! I stop in my tracks, having so nearly escaped. The sight of Millie's hand happily outstretched, palm up, confuses me.
Yes?
Phone.
My eyes narrow at the request.
I just wanted to take down your number and put in contacts for the others.
Even though she doesn't seem the type to text non-stop or call at random hours of the day, a part of me is dreading giving someone I've only just met my number. It might be helpful to have on hand in case I have an actual writing class question though. Reluctantly, I pull the phone out of my pocket and hand it to her.
Why do you have everyone's numbers anyway? Don't you meet twice a week?
As she finishes up, Millie gives an alarmingly large grin as she places my phone back into my palm.
Ah, but that's not all we do.
Millie turns back to the club members, all stopping what they're doing as she proudly puffs her chest out.
To welcome in our new members, I'm announcing the first group outing for the reorganized writing club.
Oh, boy. Participation, necessary? Oh my god! Act 1, pen to paper. That artwork is so good. Little scrunglies. Couple days later. I was trying to find out how long the game is. About how long, I could not find anything. So that's gonna be fun. The trees are a nice color this time of year. Fall's always been my favorite season as far as I can remember. It's not as hot as summer, and spring's weather changes wildly in a single day. Making the most of the few warm days left of the year, I pass my morning raking up the leaves which have piled up on the paths outside the apartment building. No one else in the complex seems interested in this kind of busy work, but I've come to enjoy little chores like this, giving me time to quietly walk away in solitude. I hope I jump out of my skin as a deafening wolf whistle rings out from behind me. My sense of peace abruptly ruined. Looking behind me as I clutch my rake out of reflex, Tanya hangs out the door of a small parked car, grinning ear to ear. A scarlet-faced Millie desperately attempts to tug her friend back in from the driver's seat.
Good to see you hard at work, Olive.
Tanya, please.
They sure are a pair. It surprises me how someone as proper as Millie befriended someone so... everything as Tanya.
I don't know this woman, I swear.
Come on, I'm just having a bit of fun.
I see you two are full of energy this morning.
Meanwhile, you're doing your best impression of a responsible adult.
Just an impression, though. I want to say living alone is a hassle due to chores like this piling up, but honestly, I appreciate the mundaneness of it.
You don't have a roommate around to help?
No.
Nah, Mom pops over now and again, but it's mostly just me, myself, and I.
Both of them look a little surprised as I shake my head. I hadn't thought my situation that unusual, but maybe I just got used to it.
The car yours, Millie?
Yep, my pride and joy. I was helping my dad restore it since before I could even drive.
Gets quite a workout, too, fearing your roommates around. I'm telling you, you should make the bums get their own licenses.
It's not a problem, really. Besides, Caprice started taking the trolley.
Tanya gives her a questioning smile, likely to do with the thing between her and Caprice. They must have a proper beef with each other for it to even affect the logistics of getting around.
You have a nice place.
The graffiti adds to the aesthetic, yeah.
I mean it, compared to some of the places students live.
She gives a small glance over to Tanya for just a moment, who responds with a dismissive shrug.
How are the neighbors?
The old ones had a dog that loved waking up the complex with its barking every night. They moved out in the last couple months, though, thankfully. Couldn't tell you anything about the new ones.
While we may keep to ourselves, it doesn't mean they don't make their presence known in other ways. The ones above me like loud music with lots of bass. One of the mailboxes is constantly full. As soon as I begin to wonder if the owner of that apartment passed away, the mail mysteriously gets collected overnight, then the cycle starts all over again. I wonder what they think of me. We all live our lives without talking to each other at all, despite living just inches apart.
So, are we doing this thing? Should be about time we headed off.
Sure, just let me put this away. Thanks again for giving me a lift.
Not at all. It's the least I can do after taking your free time for something like this.
As we roll to a stop and Millie cuts the engine, the occasional honking of impatient carts still navigating the busy streets punctuates the low rumble of the crowds. I'm the first out of the little car, stretching myself out as much as I can, doing my best to shake out the ache of being cramped in that tiny box during rush hour. Millie and Tanya, on the other hand, are entirely unfazed, stepping out with little dramatics. I've never felt embarrassed about stepping out of a car before, but I guess there's a first time for everything.
Man, downtown's packed today.
All the outlets are probably having clearances before bringing out the winter clothes.
You think Heather and Darren are stuck in traffic? It was pretty blocked up on the way in. Where's this signing at, anyway?
Bookstore is a bit of a hike up the road from here, but this is probably the closest parking spot we're going to get. The forecast called for a chance of rain today. I hope they get here soon.
I can say I've ever been to a book signing. It's rare I even go to a bookstore these days, unless you want to count the one on campus. I can see the appeal, insofar as being able to meet an important person face to face. Same goes for sports, autographs, even if I've never been into that either. It also feels like the kind of thing a writing club is supposed to do. As new to the club as I might be, I can't shake the feeling that there's a difference between what a writing club should do and what our club members might want to do. Our attention is distracted from the people hugging their coats by the sharp pain coming from Millie. Tanya and I wait in silence as she pulls the phone from her pocket and reads the incoming message.
It's Darren.
So, where is he?
Why is the street so loud?
Looks like he's not coming.
Huh. Seemed like such an eager beaver, too. Did he say why?
Millie shakes her head.
I'll just be a minute. I'm going to give Heather a call.
Tanya and I exchange a brief glance as Millie steps away, tapping away on her phone before bringing it to her ear. The two of us watch and wait, Millie fitting with her braid as she talks. She looks surprisingly pensive, despite her efforts to hide it. After what feels like minutes, though was likely only seconds, she gives a couple of quick nods before tapping the phone to hang up. With that, she shoves her phone back into her bag with a sigh before returning to us.
Well,
she's not coming either.
To no one's surprise. Tanya and I let out a long sigh. After all that build-up, the whole thing's a bust.
should we head out on our own then?
Millie smiles a sad smile.
Maybe another time. I won't drag you two in there. It's not much of a club outing if half the club isn't here.
But we're already here, we might as well go in. I debate pushing back, if for no other reason than to soothe my guilt, but Tanya packs up before I get the chance, swiping away at her phone. Tanya flashes the screen at the two of us triumphantly, offering us salvation through a silent declaration. Happy hour midweek special. Not quite what I was imagining.
It's not even 10.
Adorable.
Should've.
Sure, why not?
I can understand some silence at Millie's response. She's quick to notice, giving me a sheepish laugh.
I mean, I wasn't super optimistic about today anyway, if I'm being honest. No point in getting too worked up about it. This sounds as good a backup plan as any.
Oh, thank you for the passion text, Sagi! How are you? Millie turns to her car, eager to get going and break eye contact. Needing no further prompting, Tanya practically skips over, crawling over the passenger seat into the back.
Should I drop you back off at your apartment, or will you be joining us? No pressure.
I'm good. I'm enjoying my time with this visual novel we just started. Because Final Fantasy 15 decided to just die like 50 minutes in. No pressure, she says, waiting patiently by her door, smiling wide. With a sigh, I start making my way towards the passenger side door. Please get off this fucking street. Oh, thank God. A warm hum of people chattering in classes, clinking fills the air, each of us sitting on our stools before the counter. I feel a little like a fish out of water here, but seeing Millie and Tanya casually chatting between themselves helps things feel a bit more comfortable. Specials! A bunch of drinks that are not actually legible in the back. I like the artwork. It's so comfy.
In hand, it's cheap beer, one largely inoffensive as far as taste goes. The sheer variety of alcohol to try is a bit intimidating, so I decided to stick with what I know. And just grabbed a simple beer as well, while Millie sips on some bright blue concoction.
Looks intense.
It's not. I just drink it for the flavor.
I'd hope so with how fast she's managed to empty her glass so far.
So you two are regulars.
Regulars makes it sound like we come here all the time.
Awfully enough, apparently. Tanya's awkward face doesn't go unnoticed. I think this is the second bar I've ever been to, but it seems like a comfortable place. Beneath old photos of the town on the wood-trimmed walls, the patrons all look clean-cut and on the younger side. Maybe that's the appeal for Millie and Tanya. They fit the scene well. In the end, it's just a bunch of people relaxing, which is how it should be. Prices aren't bad either. Or, I don't think they are. I don't have much of a frame of reference. I'm glad Millie's mood has improved, but I can't help stress at least a little about our current situation. Given why I joined the club in the first place, this isn't a stellar second impression.
So,
I start without really thinking, drawing Millie and Tanya's eyes to me.
You didn't seem that surprised about the attendance today.
That's about as tame as I could have worded that. Millie's face flattens before I get the opportunity to pat myself on the back though.
This may surprise you, but Heather isn't consistent.
You don't say.
Tanya punctuates that with a snort.
And, well, I know you're friends, so please don't take this the wrong way, but Darren's a new recruit. I don't have much of a read on him.
I shared like 3 classes with Darren in high school. This is as much of a friend as we're gonna get.
I think you're really overestimating how close we are.
Oh, really? When you walked in together, I just assumed you invited a tag-along.
No, we just ran into each other. I didn't even recognize him at first.
Nope. We talked a bit and shared a few classes in high school, but that's as far as it ever went, really. Just a really weird coincidence.
That being said, it does feel weird to have Darren missed something like this already when he was supposedly staking out the club before I was. The 3 of us sit on that for a minute, none of us quite sure where to take the conversation from there.
Ugh, those 2 are a pain in the ass.
Hey!
Tanya?
Well, it's not like I'm innocent either.
Go on.
I'm just here because I need the help to pass my English course. I don't have a creative bone in my body.
Huh? Is that all it is?
You sound disappointed.
As opposed to Millie, who just looks disappointed.
I thought it was gonna be something saucier.
Girl, what the fuck were you expecting?
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. There's not a saucy bone in my body either.
No.
Well, for what it's worth, I appreciate you coming out today anyway.
Millie smiles, but I don't need my glasses to see how strained it is. Tanya must pick up on it too, signaling down the barkeep to refill her friend's drink.
I'd appreciate you not trying to get her driver drunk before noon.
Tanya doesn't bother to offer me anything past a roll of her eyes and a smirk. Millie looks down on a mostly empty glass, her smile softening to one decidedly more genuine.
Sure. What harm could one more round do?
A new round of drinks arrives, and Tanya orders the table some bar food to soak up the alcohol I'm so worried about, she teases. As Millie and Tanya laugh together, chatting about some movie I've never heard of or a teacher they have together, something feels a bit off. When the conversation lulls, I catch a glance at Millie looking down at her drink, brow furrowed and lips pursed. The moment Tanya pipes up again, it disappears, but never quite completely. I try to shake the feeling. I don't know Millie that well to analyze her behavior, and don't even know what I'd say if I could. For whatever it's worth, Tanya's able to keep pulling back Millie from whatever depths of thoughtfulness she keeps sinking into, even if she needs alcohol to do it. Time passes quickly, and before I know it, it's been over an hour since we got here. I leave some cash for my order and a tip before excusing myself. Millie has been handling herself well, looking alert and sober since switching to soda a bit earlier. I still decline when she offers me a ride back though. Stepping into the frigid air and daylight, I have to squint to see. The overcast sky from this morning has been replaced with a typical sunny afternoon. With nothing more to do, I head back to my apartment. Hopefully I'll still be able to do something productive today. Yeah, I would also not get into a car with someone who had something alcoholic to drink. Oh, no worry. It was only a little bit and it's been a few hours. No. You drank alcohol. Millie's handwriting reads more like an alien language as I squint and concentrate to make out her sentences. What might have started as cursive has dissolved into a scroll, as if the pen were desperately trying to keep up with her train of thought.
What's all this?
Editor's notes.
Do you have them in English?
With my story writing complete, Millie, decided it best to go over things in more detail after the club. The auto seating was also her idea, even if the small tables make trying to sift through this mess even more of a hassle. Given how extensive her notes are, any optimism I may have had has been quickly dashed. I know you can't expect perfection immediately, but even if the professor was half as thorough as Millie, it would still pretty handily be a failing mark. Slouching into my uneven seat, I rocket back and forth as I mull my situation over. Our cups of coffee steam away on a table between us, Millie's bright face watching my own. It's been a week since the failed outing, with a couple of club meetings happening since then. If she's annoyed or sad about what happened, she hasn't shown it. Even now, she smiles widely while waiting for a response to our writing critique. It's only made the charade of the writing club's meetings all the weirder. Just another week of everyone silently ignoring the elephant in the room, that nobody actually cares about any of this. I take up my cup of coffee and try to think over my writing.
That's the look of concentration I wanted to see. I knew you'd get into this. What's on your mind?
Nothing you want to hear.
Try me.
That these glasses are giving me a headache.
Oh. Millie pouts as I grumble to myself, but it soon gives way to a small giggle.
I promise you contacts are worse, but you do what you gotta do to maintain appearances. Now, how about we get back on track?
Sure, as soon as I get my cursor back over here. Recognizing that my attempts at avoiding this any further have been thoroughly squashed, I return to Millie's notes with a sigh.
Almost everything here is covered in corrections and fixes. Actually, I think you've written more than I did in the first place. I appreciate the effort you're putting in, but man, it's hard to stay optimistic about this. What chance do you think I have here, honestly?
Are you going to do a second draft? With all the notes?
Well, sure. I won't be starting from scratch, so this should be doable by next week's meeting.
Then you'll be fine.
Oh. Oh, she sold her confidence really well, considering how much of a non-answer that was. Still, it feels like I'm doing the bare minimum. This is all any of the others should be doing. When I think about it like that, I start getting annoyed. After taking a sip of her drink, Minnie takes a little worn notebook and adds something in her hurried handwriting. Perhaps a note about her tutoring or an idea for her own writing. As she finishes, she notices my glancing.
Keeping a notebook handy means I can quickly jot down my thoughts when inspiration strikes. You should try it. I think it'd really help you.
Don't know how much use I get out of a notebook filled with nothing but bad ideas.
You get in the habit of writing things down when you think of them. Because I'm the type of person to think of something and then I go, oh yeah, I'll definitely remember. And then 2 hours after the fact, I'll be like, fuck, there was something I thought of earlier, but I don't remember what it was, except I wanted to write it down.
Bad ideas are fine. Most of my notebook is junk I never end up using. But the few diamonds in the rough, sometimes even just a few words, can be enough to build on. Maybe it'll help you get into a creative mindset, too.
Millie may well be right. She probably is, but that doesn't mean I feel any sort of connection to what she's saying. It's like receiving a lengthy and thought-out lecture in clear and precise terms, all perfectly delivered and hieroglyphs. I will give it that she has the patience of a saint to be helping me like this. She seems to enjoy the chance to talk about the mechanics of writing with someone who cares, even if it's only out of necessity.
So, what are you trying to say with all this?
Think of it like art. Instead of trying to make a gallery-worthy portrait off the bat, you're sketching out rough ideas to try different concepts from different angles.
Not the first example I'd expect to come to her mind given the circumstances.
You don't even have to show anyone. Just try describing an interesting person. Plot out a fun scene in a movie, or emulate an interesting passage you saw in a book. I think that's where you're getting tripped up, trying to write full stories right from the start without being comfortable with the act of writing itself. Without a solid foundation, the whole building falls apart.
And how long am I gonna be doing these sketches?
As long as you're writing, of course. It's a critical part of the process, no matter how experienced you are.
Unable to contain my excitement, I drink the rest of my increasingly lukewarm coffee. As dispirited as I might feel from her feedback, at least it's a sense of direction. I'm not left wallowing in misery, even if I don't make it. Looking up at her face brimming with excitement at the prospect of making meaningless scraps of writing over and over for weeks or months ahead, I can't help but feel out of place next to her. It isn't just her either. Darren's ability to scroll away about esoteric subjects even as a freshman still taunts me, and even Heather seems comfortable jotting down this and that to keep our studious leader off her back.
Hey, Millie?
Yes?
I know I'm at least partially to blame, and I really appreciate it, but how do you find so much energy to devote to this? Writing in general, I mean.
The question takes her a little off guard, breaking through a lecturing attitude as she thoughtfully sets down her drink.
Why write, huh? I suppose that I could say something corny, like creativity brings out the best in people, or something. Spin some tale about the power of the great author's writings, opening one's mind and taking us on wild adventures.
I'm waiting for the bite.
I'm getting there. My earliest memories are of my mother reading to me. We read a lot together, even as I grew up. Maybe it's a little selfish, but I wanted to hold on to that feeling. Maybe even share that sense of companionship with others, making our own personal connections through reading and writing together. That's what this club is supposed to be. A place for individuals to get together and offer each other glimpses into themselves, to maybe find a speck of common interest to nurture and grow. Or, well, that's what I thought.
It hurts a little to see a wistful smile slowly fade, reality seeping in through the cracks in a carefully maintained idealism.
I guess it didn't quite work out that way.
It was heavier than I expected, from a question intended to simply fill the air.
Well, no reason why it still can't be.
I guess she was expecting something more defeatist from me, given the surprise on her face.
No, of course. Thanks for the reminder.
For what it's worth, I'm glad you managed to find a hobby that means so much to you.
We all have our vices.
Taking my coffee in one hand, I grab my backpack from the ground and sling it over my shoulders and rise to my feet.
Where are you off to?
Much as I'd love to stay and talk more, I also like being able to pay rent, so I'm off to the diner for the evening shift. See you tomorrow, Millie. Oh, and sorry about the grumbling. Just haven't found my footing yet. I'll have a proper look over your notes when I get home and start working on a second draft.
It's no problem. Make sure you buy a notebook sometime. A proper one. Spoil yourself. I'm sure it'll help.
As usual, it doesn't take long for her to bounce back. At least we're not parting on a sad note. With that, I give her a curt wave and start up out of the cafe. I can't say today was exactly productive, but I suppose I should count myself lucky that Millie's taking this tutoring seriously. Looking back, I see Millie taking her notebook in hand to take yet more notes for herself. I wonder if anyone else gives it much thought.
Death. Death comes for me.
Okay.
Oh, don't be so dramatic.
She flicks my back with a hand towel, but I barely flinch. I've had some long days here, but today was crazy even by our standards. I shouldn't complain. A lot of people my age can't even get a job, and having my mom around does make things better. I get along fine with the other stuff, though we rarely actually share shit. I still can't bring myself to eat burgers, though. Not after making them one after the other for hours on end every shift. Mom visibly reassesses her snark after I push myself off the counter and look up to her. Guess I'm not hiding the exhaustion well. Not like I was really trying to.
Thanks for your work, dear. It was a rough day, but you got through.
I'm going to sleep forever when I get home.
Good yawn.
I don't know about forever, but you earned yourself a good rest.
She looks to me for a moment before shuffling herself into a booth, patting the seat next to her. Eager for an excuse to rest my feet, I oblige.
Are you okay, Ollie?
I'm fine. Just tired.
No point in complaining to her. It's not like Mom can change anything. When I think about it, I think most of my problems come down to feeling like I have no control over my life right now. So a few cooks and Mom already overworked to have to fill in when I can at the diner. Then there's the fact that all my time between sleep, school, and work is filled with frantic studying just to keep up with the others in my classes.
How is school going? You said that you joined a new club, right?
Yeah, the writing club. It's a bit weird, but at least it'll help me get the credits I need.
A bit weird?
They show up whenever they feel like it, and barely even pretend to work while they're around. The supervising professor doesn't bother attending at all while the leader is, well, she tries her hardest. I wish I had an ounce of the passion she has, whether for writing or anything else. It'd make this a lot easier.
Sounds like she's an admirable person.
She is. That's what bugs me.
Oh, you think she's being taken advantage of?
Yeah. Everyone shows up, but doesn't bother putting in any effort. She must know that, but she just smiles through it.
I think that's what bothered me so much about the tutoring. Am I taking advantage of her enthusiasm like the others? The only reason I'm in the club is to pass my exams after all. As I think to myself, I notice a familiar smile on Mom's face. The same she gave me as a child whenever she saw through a petty lie. Whenever she saw what I was actually saying.
I'm sure she'd be happy to see you care so much.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe I have a future in writing after all with how easy I apparently am to read.
Do you think I should be doing something
Wait,
about it?
Sorry.
Either way, it sounds to me like the club being all on the same page would help the both of you out quite a bit. That's for you to figure out. You know best. All I'm saying is that sometimes doing things we're not used to is a good thing. Life would be awfully boring if we all stayed the same our whole lives, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, I almost forgot. If you need any time off work for club things, just tell me. I'm sure you can pull some strings.
I cringed a little at her overacted wing. I've no doubt Mom's doing what she thinks is best for me, but I couldn't possibly ask that of her. She's already run off her feet just to make ends meet, not that she'd tell me so. There's an unwritten understanding between us that we're both in this together. Writing might not come naturally to me, but I guess I owe it to Millie to do what I can for the club. It is wrong to use it to pass my exams, then bounce and leave them to their fate. Somehow it feels like an even steeper slope to climb than all the other stresses in my life right now. On my side, a couple plastic bags shift together as I walk by. By some miracle, the half a dozen hearty muffins somehow survive the bike trip over. It's not often that I get a chance to cook for others outside of work, though. My motivations aren't exactly pure. If Millie's optimism can't get people interested in the club, then maybe outright bribery will. Coming to the door, I can already hear Millie's muffled lecturing. Taking a breath to summon what little energy I have left at this time of day, I take the door handle in hand and swing it open. Hi. Millie moves to welcome me in, but she trails off in confusion as her gaze falls to the back by my side. Anya beams a grin with an arm around the back of her chair, contrasting to the stiff and overly formal Darren. Heather is not here. It's not the first time she's outright skipped, so not the biggest surprise. With a cursory greeting, I drop the bag onto the table and roll down the sides, plucking out several large plastic containers and popping open the lids. A sweet smell rises from the food, despite having been baked in the morning. Everyone gathers around, their eyes sparkling as I finish unpacking the rest of my morning's effort. If they took half as much interest in the club as I did this, we'd be in business.
Olive, what? Did you get lost on the way to the baking club or something?
Says the woman in her mechanic jumpsuit. Cooking and baking is a bit of a hobby, so I just figured I'd bring some stuff in is all.
Well, no complaints here.
Take what you like. I didn't bring these in for show and tell. Just have them while you're writing or whatever.
Nice.
I hope I don't sound ungrateful for asking, but what's the occasion?
Well, you know...
I have no idea how to word this in a way that isn't tinged with pessimism.
The club's had a rough start this semester. I figured something like this might improve the mood a bit and get people motivated is all.
Thankfully, it looks like the answer's more than acceptable as Millie's initial shock melts into a smile.
That's really sweet, thank you.
It's not the first time I've seen her smiling, but something about it this time, combined with her tone, feels considerably more genuine than before. Sincerity of it is enough to make me look away before I start blushing. With no need for further prompting, the feeding frenzy begins as multiple hands dive in at once for this treat or that, with a single chocolate-flavored muffin rescued for myself. Heading to my usual desk to head back onto Millie's editing notes, I turn around to see the club members chatting away between themselves. Millie delicately tries to catch the crumbs with a hand below her chin, while Darren's technique consists mostly of taking small nibbles of it at a time. Tanya, meanwhile, shows no such restraint. I was hoping people would take my "well, you're writing" suggestion to heart, but the club ended up looking more like a party instead. At least Millie seems to be happy chatting away, so I'm fine calling it a small victory. Maybe I should make the most of the social atmosphere, especially since I'm going to be around these people for a while yet. Oh, what to do? Even people talk with a mouthful, but I know to get closer to Millie's friends. It's been a while, it'd be good to catch up. Part of me doesn't want to bother, but... Oh, I see. I guess that's the whole... And now this is because we're on Millie's route. Oh, cute, okay. Who do we want to get closer to? I know a bunch of the side characters just have their own little sub-stories that you can get. So maybe sticking with one of them would be best. Heather. No. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stick with Tanya. At second glance, it appears Tanya's inhaled most of her first muffin. Chocolate chip by the looks of it, drawing a questioning look from my friend as I walk over.
Why? I skipped lunch today.
Didn't your mother tell you not to talk with your mouth full?
Good thing my mother isn't here right now, huh?
You could at least chew it before trying to shove it down your throat. I guess I should take it as a compliment.
You work at a diner, right, Olive? I'm surprised to hear you've picked up cooking as a hobby outside of that.
Cooking at home is an entirely different experience than working the menu at the diner. So I don't really feel the burnout you might expect.
It's good you found something you like so much. A lot of people struggle to find that kind of niche in life.
It's a surprisingly positive spin on just doing something because it's all I really know. While I admire that kind of outlook, I can't help but wonder where it's truly gotten her. The contrast of the perfectly organized room to the club members latching onto the first instruction they found couldn't be clearer. Thinking bad of outright saying that, I decided to address something I've been noticing for a while.
Hey, speaking of interests and hobbies, what's with the get-up anyway, Tanya? I'm just realizing I never asked.
Tanya looks down her well-used overalls, ill-fitting compared to the otherwise smart clothes of the rest.
Oh, these? I have a welding class just before the club meets. Not much point changing out of them, so I just chuck the welding gear in the truck and hop back over.
Fair.
Weren't you wearing them during the bookstore visit?
It's a matter of efficiency.
So I can quickly weld wherever I damn well please. Thank you, other fan, the hydrate tank. And the posture.
Always liked fiddling with metal and mechanical stuff back home, so I ended up taking all the relevant courses I could.
You two sure are different.
Maybe not as much as you think.
Been a set since high school. Met as the only two girls in the auto shop class.
Ah. It's easy to imagine Tanya getting sucked into the engine of a car with this tool, or that as she fiddles under the hood, but Millie's a surprise. My face must say it's much, giving Millie sudden sheepishness.
I have my reasons. Besides, it's nice to get my head off books sometimes.
Huh. When she said she'd been working on a car with her dad, I guess I didn't imagine it quite so hands-on. The first muffin devoured, Tanya goes back for seconds as Millie continues to occasionally nibble at her first. She seems to like them just as much, enjoying them in her own dainty way.
There's quite a lot of food here. Why'd you make so many different flavors?
I want some.
Didn't know what you guys would like. Besides, muffins are easy because you can throw in whatever's handy for flavoring. Chocolate chips, cocoa, fruits, that sort of thing.
The others seem to like them too. It's good to see everyone chatting like this.
All two of them.
Have to admit, it's different than when you do it for a job. After a while, you forget how nice it is to watch people enjoy the food you've made for them, and having a good time while eating together.
It isn't long before Darren says his goodbyes, pushing the last chunk of muffin into his mouth with his thumb on the way out. As Tanya sees him off, she looks back.
So, the big question. Who gets the rest?
We ended up getting through about half of them by the looks of it, even with Darren and Tanya's appetites not quite being up to the task. I do appreciate Millie looking for me first for an answer.
I can make more anytime. You guys decide between yourselves.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Going by how fast Millie agrees and takes a position, this must be a normal way of sorting out disagreements between the two. The faces look oddly scary given how low stakes this is. Without a word of communication, they begin, the rounds, apparently being best 2 out of 3, going by so fast that I can barely keep track. Graceful in victory, winning the final round of paper to Tanya's rock, Millie silently grins ear to ear as Tanya sighs.
Such is life.
Aww.
See you guys later.
Sulking Tanya wanders out while scratching her head, Millie waving her off as she goes.
I'm alright to clean up by myself. You can go if you want.
Thanks. Sorry for turning the meeting into this.
You hardly need to apologize. It's nice to see everyone enjoying themselves in the club. I really appreciate this, Olive.
You're only saying that because you ended up with all the leftovers.
I deserve that pouting. By the time I'm finally out the door, sunset's already rolled in. Even the riding in the dark makes me nervous, I start on the path to the bike rack with no detours. The urgency doesn't last long when, with a familiar orange jacket out of the corner of my eye, stopping me in my tracks.
Oh, hey.
His headphones on. What am I even doing? Reaching up to take them off, it looks like Haley noticed me before I could collect myself and pretend nothing happened. Try so might to get a read on her, I just can't do it. The face of hers is inhumanly placid.
What's up?
She approached me.
Just saying hi. What are you listening to?
She takes the headphones from around her neck and offers them to me without a word. Although I'm curious, I dutifully take them, and after a moment to brush my hair back, hold them to my ears for a quick listen. That's about all the reaction I can muster to the tune. I'm not even sure why I asked. Music is totally out of my usual wheelhouse. Left none the wiser, I give up and pass the headphones back to the owner, the item slung around her neck in a smooth and practiced movement. She quickly picks up on my nonplussed expression.
They're good for tuning things out, at least.
What do you think about when you're alone in those headphones?
Stuff. This and that.
She just shrugs as much to me as her own inability to give a meaningful answer.
So, I hear you're in the writing club now.
Apparently so.
Yeah, apparently. Well, now that you're officially part of this, try not to worry much about the arguments between those two. If either of them give you any trouble, just give me a yell.
It's not really a big deal. Sometimes people just don't get along.
As she goes silent, I find myself wondering if she agrees or if I've said something wrong. I have a feeling I'm going to be left wondering too.
I assume you're not following us home?
Sorry?
Considering you stopped me in front of Millie's car.
Till he points behind me, all I can do is give an intensely awkward chuckle to try and laugh it off. On your best moment, Olive.
Oops. Sorry. No, just on my way to pick up my bike.
She doesn't react one way or another, leaving me no indication as to whether or not she accepted that.
Here I was, thinking I'd picked up a stray cat.
I'm sorry.
See you later. Hope the club works out for you.
She brings her headphones back over her head, done with our conversation. It's more than fine with me, getting on my way, my pace a little faster than before to escape the situation.
This is the end for me.
I go on scrolling out an entire paragraph in frustration before just crumpling the paper in defeat. If it were any other time in my life, I may have accepted the admittedly mediocre work I've been struggling over for the past 3 hours. Unfortunately, I can't. Especially not here, where from my spot in the corner of the diner I can see Mum rushing to and fro to fulfill a giant to-go order that came in during her lunch break. She practically wrestled me back to the seat when I tried to help her. At the very least I should do while I'm here to write a good paper. I thought, but no such luck. I can barely get a full sentence down before second guessing it. It's supposed to be a simple creative exercise, analyzing 2 short stories and creating our own in the same style.
What does analyze even mean? If he'd said critique, at least I could just complain.
Oh, is that grumbling I hear?
Millie peeks over my shoulder for a moment before giggling at my surprise, sliding in the seat across from me. I should be embarrassed at all the drafts scattered about the table. Instead, I barely grimace as she gingerly pushes some of the crumpled papers aside.
I see you have your work cut out for you already, huh?
My torture, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Luckily for you, I'm here to rescue you.
How are you now? Humming to herself triumphantly, she pulls her tote bag upright, rummaging around the contents inside. She pulls 2 notebooks out with a theatrical ta-da gesture, waving them in front of her face.
Notebooks?
Not just any notebooks. Take a look.
In one hand, the bright pink one labeled Notes is adorned with all manner of sticky notes, bookmarks, and scrap paper sticking out from it. Yet there's more plain, black without eye-catching material besides a stick of a cat. Mary, I take the pink one and begin flipping through it. Every page has a neat header, date, and notes from top to bottom. Most of them have a works cited section naming the textbook and a relevant story. In all, it looks like a teacher's assistant cheat sheet for the entire class. Detailed, easy to navigate, and an even better resource than the textbook itself.
What? How did you get this?
What do you mean?
Which professor did you steal it from? I won't tell.
She made it herself.
You're flattering me. They're my notes from the semester. I took that class already, remember?
No way. My face must portray the accurate amount of awe and a healthy amount of alarm because she quickly laughs and takes the notebook, closing it.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't bother being so meticulous if it was anything but writing. But since I was running the club, I really wanted them to stand the test of time. I do want them back, but...
She timidly plays with her braid for a moment, looking a bit sheepish.
Well, the class is pretty front-heavy on essay work. You can use them as reference if you ever feel lost or need inspiration.
I don't know what to say. Just... obviously... Thank you. Really. I owe you.
Please, it's fine.
She pauses as the bell to the restaurant rings, a customer hopping up to the front and collecting the bags upon bags of takeout. As they leave, the smell of fresh pressed paninis and fries follows.
Well, actually, if you could cook something for me again, that may be a fair trade. I've been daydreaming about those muffins.
If I pass this next round of papers, I'll make you a full course meal.
It's a deal. You better not fail on purpose to weasel out of it.
If only I had the luxury. Millie scoots back out the booth, pulling up her toad and adjusting her vest.
Well, I'm off. Tunebug needs an oil change. I'll tell your mom you're in good hands.
You named your car Junebug? Hi, Guardian! I'm good. How are you doing? Guardian, have you played this game before? This seems like a game you might have played. Or definitely at least a game you want to play. Help me.
Sure. Take it. Wait. You know my mom?
She gives a smug, sparkling smile and accentuates it with a little shrug.
You look like her.
We do.
And when I came in, she couldn't stop boasting about how proud she is of her kids sitting in the back working non-stop on their college papers.
I sink into my seat, feeling heat rush to my face. From the corner of my eye, I see Millie give my mom a big wave, who returns it in kind.
Right. Thanks.
Oh, you're so dramatic. You should feel lucky to have such a doting mom.
It's more about how openly she'll air out my struggles to strangers. But yeah.
Millie laughs a bit and shakes her head, taking her leave without further ado. When the bell chimes to signify her exit, I heave a giant sigh and slump entirely in the booth. A second notebook sits across from me at the table, untouched. I drag it over to my side and flip open the first page. A bright pink sticky note immediately catches my eye, so I sit back up straight to read it. Hang in there.
I'll try.
Aww. The other pages are filled with mistakes. First drafts, forgotten ideas, paragraphs I forget their meaning halfway through. Far from anything I've seen Millie show in public before. I open my own notebook and begin my first draft. Again. A blind spot for you must have slipped you by? Oh, really? Wait, when it come out? Hold on. Twofold released on Steam on the 22nd of October last year. I just know because Studio Lan is the publisher behind it. So I saw them post about it. Technically, it is their latest release. Though I have not played First Snow, which is a... Have you played First Snow? Because that one is features characters that are also in this one, so that one's a prequel. And that's a free-to-play game. But, we're in this. Blind. I wanted to say blind. Always want to get around to but keep forgetting to. Ah! Well, I mean, because we played Please Be Happy last year. And also Highway Blossoms on stream. Heart of the Woods I've only played myself. So that's why. Please Be Happy was really fucking good. If you plan on reading any of this stuff anytime soon, please read Please Be Happy. I love that game so much. I woke up through the streets with my plastic bag ruffling away in hand. When I check my phone for directions, I catch the time as well. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm right on time. The paper went well enough, a solid B+, which means I'm on the hook for a meal. The apartment's quite a hike for my own on foot, but the traffic around here is light and the nearby buildings look well maintained, if not very modern. I eventually locate the complex entrance and make my way through the gate, finding my way outside the door not long after. Give it a couple quick knocks. A second or two of silence passes before a muffled voice speaks up from inside.
Hello, who is it?
I read a long time ago before I got the voice acting update. We read the updated version with the voice acting.
It's just me.
And then I cheesed the one achievement for, oh, here's a mode where you can play the game in like real time for how long it would actually take for all of the stops to go. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna let the game run for like over 40 hours just for the realism of all of the spots they're taking, but I want the achievement, so that's a commitment I'm not making. With a click and a shunt, the jock jiggles. The lock jiggles open with the door itself falling soon after.
Good afternoon, Olive. Come right in.
I follow the cheery woman as she walks back in, carefully closing the door behind me. Noticing the shoes stacked on the carpet beside the door, I shuffle up my own and nudge them with my feet before continuing on into the small entryway. As I scan the living room, it's clear that things have been hastily tidied up for my arrival, in the same way that a reluctant child might clean the bedroom when told to by their mother. They did commit. They really did. While the floor's mostly clear, clothes have been piled on the backs of seats and peek around bulging cupboard doors. Books, plush animals, magazines, and DVDs all lie where they were last used, and the dining table's become a makeshift study area by the looks of things.
Sorry for the mess.
It's fine.
No, it's nice. Well, aside from...
I trail off as my gaze turns to the kitchenette to my left. Unwashed dishes and glasses sit piled up in and around the sink, and jars of ingredients sit neglected on the counter. It all must have gone bad by now. I start wringing the back of my neck as the anxiety creeps in. My dentist hygiene and kitchen protocols, having been drilled into me for years, has affected me more than I thought.
We're not as tidy as we could be.
It's not that unusual, I guess.
I'm surprised how unconvincing I made that sound.
I'll clean up before getting started. I brought some stock and rice, so I should be able to work with whatever else is here.
Thank you so much. If I have one more pack of noodles, it might be the end of me.
Yeah, this game, the character on the left is our main character in this game. They're canonically non-binary. The entire cast is some type of letter of the LGBTQ, but specifically our main character is non-binary, which is nice. I'm glad I came. Nobody should be living solely off ramen.
Before you start, at least let me show you around.
Sure, lead the way.
After pointing out this and that from the location of the bathroom to where Haley and Caprice's rooms are, we arrive at Millie's room as she swings open the door.
And this is my bedroom. Oh. It's a bit cramped, but you get used to it.
It's a lot of books. I say, an owner of also make a man of books. She's not wrong about the size. Most of the apartment space is being dedicated to the combined living room and kitchen. She's made good use of it though, the bookshelf being filled to capacity and a laptop and well-used notebook squeezed into an old table in the corner. It's impressive that she's managed to make such claustrophobic space feel so homely. A series of books on a shelf next to me catches my eye and I reach out to take one of the thicker ones. The majority of her books seem to be in this style, being plain hardcovers with titles in gilded cursive, as many being non-fiction as fiction. As Millie looks back to me for comment, I realize that I probably should have asked first.
Sorry, curiosity got the better of me. I have to admit though, child psych is a pretty niche genre.
Looking back over this particular space on the shelf, she has quite a few books on the subject.
Looks like I've been found out. I want to write children's books. A lot of people think it's easy, but there's actually a lot of thought behind them.
Yeah.
Huh. When you said you liked writing, I assumed that meant you wanted to be a novelist or something.
I wouldn't mind trying my hand at it, but children's books are where my heart is. To see a parent reading my books to their child and seeing their faces light up as they learn about the world. It might not be the most glamorous or well-paying career, but I wouldn't care if I knew I'd achieved that.
Aww. Hi, TK. Good evening.
Sorry, I'm rambling. We should get started on lunch, shouldn't we?
As I nod, I find myself struck by her conviction. With the pile of 30 dishes slowly starting to shrink, I manage to make good progress on the washing while Millie tidies up stuff elsewhere in the apartment. Either inspired or embarrassed by me being here. I could probably just shift some things aside and cook right now, but might as well go the whole 9 yards if she's going to as well. The creaking of the door to the apartment barely reaches my ears past the noise of the running tap. It isn't long before I see who our visitor is, poking her head around the corner. Ellie just manages to keep a placid face at the side of me, taking off her ever-present headphones and setting them around her neck with practice ease. I'm starting to wonder if she wears them to bed at this rate.
Hey, Millie! Some weirdo's broken in and is doing our dishes.
Let them finish before calling the cops.
Okay.
Hi, Ailey.
Has Millie really stuck you on dishwashing duty?
Technically, I was here to make lunch, but there's no point in making food if there's nothing to put it on.
I'd apologize for the mess, but I assume Millie's beat me to the punch already.
Is it always like this?
We just scavenge whatever's mostly clean till we run out of plates. It's worked out fine for 2 years now.
Final Fantasy 15 looks different than I remember. I changed the category. Please don't tell me the category has not been changed. Please don't tell me this entire time that I've been playing that Twitch didn't update it. Because I will cry. That's the case, but also thank you for the posture check and the hydrate time. No, it definitely changed. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Good thing I've also been here for like 2.5 hours playing this game already. Now, Final Fantasy 15 crashed like 15 minutes in. Like, literally, I was like, oh, we're starting the game again. I leveled a tiny bit. And then we started chapter 2, and then a bunch of cutscenes happened, and I didn't even, like, I wasn't even allowed to do anything myself. It was still very much cutscenes, and then it crashed. And I did not feel like redoing all that. So we're playing something completely different now. 3 years of living like this. I can't believe I ever had second thoughts about having my life together. As Millie comes in, Haley gives her a quick wave.
Caprice lives here too, right? Am I cooking for 3 or 4?
Yakuza moment, but Yakuza I had at least saved. And also that game doesn't take like almost 10 minutes to like fully open up. Genuinely.
She's visiting her mom, so it's 3 today.
Uh-huh. Good timing on me coming over today then, huh? Millie still comes across as annoyed at the mere mention of her. I guess the rivalry runs pretty deep.
3 it is then. Any allergies?
I'm allergic to greens.
All greens? How am I supposed to tell if she's joking when she uses a deadpan voice? The only hint is Millie's unsurprised sigh. Millie signals the end of lunch as she sets her fork down. The curry made with 4 Russian ingredients, made extra mild at Millie's request, turned out to be a hit with the two, both of them looking satisfied with their meal.
Thanks again for that. That was amazing compared to what we usually have.
You guys need to stop talking about food because it's making me hungry again. Because we didn't have a single warm meal today. And now I'm missing a warm meal.
Could have been spicier.
I'll leave the recipe. You can cook some up yourself, that's exactly how you like it. First time in a while I've cooked a meal for people other than myself, so I'm glad it worked out alright.
Isn't that expensive? Living alone and all?
I've always been... what's the best word for it?
Cheap?
Frugal?
Let's go with frugal.
A warm meal Saturday, yeah! Yeah, no, I didn't have enough sleep tonight. Because I was up until 3, I think, after stream. I was planning on actually just getting to sleep immediately, but I didn't because I was still awake. So I was up until 3, and then 9 on the dot. It's like, hey, get up, because we went to paint the apartment walls, the one I moved out of, right? Because it's like, oh, you're moving out, you have to paint the walls again, me. So we did all that today. And then had like a few bites to eat in the empty apartment, which was a very interesting experience. And then went back home, and then I napped to catch up on the sleep I didn't get tonight. And then we only had like bread for the evening meal, which is usually fine. I don't mind at all. But the more they keep talking about actual warm food, I'm like, I would like a burgie. I would like some fries.
Only needing to cook for myself saves a lot of time. Plus, I get leftover vegetables and stuff from work that are about to expire and can't be used.
Smart.
I do something similar. I save a bit by sometimes visiting bakeries just before they close for the day. They'll usually throw extra food in the bag for you that probably won't sell in time.
Also smart.
Do you guys actually cook much?
I can cook the basics.
What basics? Haley's eyes narrow.
The very basics.
The very basic. I can boil a pot of pasta.
Same. Rice and pasta are easy enough to throw in a pot.
I see.
And Caprice?
Caprice is banned from cooking.
Oh.
Ever since the egg incident, yes.
The egg incident? Excuse me? Do I want to know what the egg incident is? He bites an empty apartment, living the Kiriyama Sangatsu no Lion Rayla. I have not finished watching Sangatsu no Lion. I have watched the very first episode, and at the time I watched it, it felt like that first episode was like an hour long. The pacing. And then I didn't try again. But I've only heard good things about the series, so maybe I will try again. I have not tried microwaving an egg before because I don't even eat eggs. And I don't want an exploded egg in my microwave. That sounds like a pain to clean. I may want to hear the details, but the looks on their faces make it clear this is ground best left untrodden. The conversation is interrupted by a simultaneous buzzing from mine and Millie's phone, slightly from the writing club group chat.
It's rare to get any sort of discussion in it, and I've admittedly been pretty bad about checking in myself. Millie, however, reaches for her phone immediately. Just as quickly, a frown forms on her face. Curiosity getting the better of me, I pull my phone out of my pocket to see for myself. Sorry, no, this is last second. I won't be at the next meeting. Oh. How do I tell who this is? I don't. Is there a reason why? I need to submit an attendance sheet to faculty soon. Yeah, sorry, just a busy week in general. Can I at least get your signature sometime this week? I don't know, I'll try. Wow. Since we're giving an advance warning this time, I'm out to. Okay, I guess that's Heather. And the flag thing is Darren? The answer's no, by the way, before you ask. I look up from my screen to see Millie slump in her seat. Her phone buzzes again not long after, the message only making her frown more.
What's up?
It's Tanya.
Oh no, is Tanya also saying no?
Is that bad?
She said she'd get some of her friends in her machinist class to sign for Darren and Heather.
With a long, exasperated sigh, Millie drags herself up, excusing herself to the nearby kitchen to sift through the cupboards.
Bad news?
Millie leans in closer to me, keeping her voice down while she cries.
What do you think?
She doesn't respond to my sarcasm directly, instead opting for one of those shrugs she loves so much.
Welcome to the writing club, I guess.
My head firmly meets the countertop in an over-exaggerated display of frustration. It doesn't last long with a sharp clearing of the throat from Millie bringing my eyes back upward.
I keep this bottle hidden away in the back for special occasions. I guess they don't all need to be positive ones. Either of you interested in a glass?
Girl, don't start day drinking. She places a wine bottle and a couple of glasses on the counter, now that my head is no longer occupying the space.
When'd you get that?
Oh, well, you know.
I'll pass.
I've got a shift tonight, so I better not either.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's more than fair.
Oh boy. Mentioning it out aloud reminds me to check my phone again to confirm the time. Good thing I did. I've stayed a bit longer than I had planned. I take to my feet, pushing my seat in after I'm up.
On that note, I better start making my way home to prepare. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for the meal. You're a lifesaver. Really.
No problem. I wouldn't mind doing it again sometime.
Oh, we couldn't.
Sounds like a plan. Looking forward to it.
Thanks.
Haley.
The bickering manages to eke a smile out of me despite the last second down of the club brought to our lunch. With a quick wave and a couple goodbyes, I leave the two to enjoy the rest of the day. A few days later. Oh, we haven't had this CG yet. Where are we? Walking into the building that houses the school machining shop, I feel a little intimidated. As unassuming as the hallway I find myself in is, lots of heavy machinery can easily be heard through the thick walls. Compared to the prim and proper science building, or homely and quaint arts and humanities building, the entire place feels rougher. Seeing myself, I take a quick peek in. More like a warehouse than a campus building, the occasional oil stain and grease splotch discolors the concrete floor. The occasional arc of light from the welding area in the back, combined with the loud whirring of a nearby machinery, is quick to put me on edge. Kitchens might be dangerous places sometimes, sure, but at least I know what everything in a kitchen does. I channel my inner Darren and close the door without another thought. I'll just try and find Tanya after class. It's not worth trying to navigate that nightmare. I wanted to have more time to talk to her before I had to head off to work, but I'd rather be 5 minutes late than try to talk over all that noise. As soon as I turn around to leave, the door opens from behind me, and out pops a student whose clothes are more oil than cloth.
Hey, did you need anything?
Oh, if you're offering, can you see if Tanya's available to talk for a sec? It's not a big deal if she can't. If you don't know her, she's...
Oh, don't worry, I know. Give me a sec.
And with that, he's retreated back into the machine-ridden hellscape. Thankfully, it's not long before the door opens again, this time with my clubmate on the other side. Confusion on her face is replaced with a smile as she comes to realize who pulled her out of class.
Yo, Olive, what brings you here?
Hey, Millie let me know when best to catch you.
Well, here I am. So, what's up?
Just checking what happened. You missed a meeting yesterday.
The grin doesn't leave her face, but her eyebrows do raise at my answer.
You dragged me out of my class early for that?
Sorry. I told the guy it wasn't a big deal and I'd be fine with waiting.
All good. It's 10 minutes till the weekend. Couldn't care less right now.
She somehow manages to find a yawn in her, despite the overwhelming noise she's presumably been in the middle of for the past 2 hours.
So, circling back to my first question, what's all this about? Afraid I'm gonna flake out on the club?
I don't know. I feel like you're probably the one most likely to stay. But it's not hard to be paranoid, given the state of everything else.
So you're just doing your due diligence. I getcha. You don't need to worry. I'm in the club for Millie's sake. I'm stuck till she graduates and not a day less. Just wrapped up in coursework I had to get finished off, that's all. I'll make it up to her.
Tanya takes a seat on one of the chairs next to the door, gesturing to the seat next to her. After the long walk over here at the end of the day and dreading the bike ride that's going to be following this, I gladly take up the offer for a rest.
So, what brought you to the club anyway?
I told you before, didn't I? I need the tutoring to pass my exams.
Is that all it was? There were a lot of clubs to choose from, and that little brat was angling for you too.
I figured my best chance was in a club that was halfway normal.
Whoops.
A bit too on the nose there, Tanya.
I still can't get over how different you and Millie are.
I'm lucky to have made it out of high school alive after some of the stuff I got up to. Maybe hitching myself to a bookworm like her is what helped pull my head in a bit. What about you? I'm sure you got up to some crazy stuff in the springtime of youth.
Sure.
I kept my head down, to be honest. I'm not really the adventurous type.
Yeah, I can tell.
My face falls flat, not helped by the hearty clap on the back in response.
Lighten up. We can't all be social butterflies.
Gee, thanks. The two of us are distracted by the professor shouting from inside the room, clear as day through the door and all the noise within. While I'm more than happy to pretend to ignore the screaming, Tanya leans back with a wide smile on her face, reveling in it. It's not difficult in the slightest to hear every word of his tirade as he rips into a student. The mistake appears to have been not wearing the welding mask properly, as the whole room now knows. At least he takes safety seriously.
Ah, the old warhorse is at it again.
I'm starting to realize I probably shouldn't be here.
Nah, you're fine. He's a great guy once you get to know him. Just gotta stay on his good side.
And put on your welding mask properly.
At least you're alright to chat with. Darren kinda keeps to himself, and I never got along with Heather.
I wonder why.
What's up with her? I don't get why she's in the club at all at this point.
She just shrugs.
Something about her always bugged me. Hardly even pretends to try in the meets either.
As the seconds go by, the various noises around the room fill the air between us. It's easy enough to tell we're thinking the same thing. It sucks that things have gotten to this state. Minnie as well hiding the frustration she must hold over it, but I almost wish she'd just let it out.
Well, no point in dwelling. What's gone is gone. I just hope things turn around for her, given how life's treated her lately.
I'm not gonna get you in trouble for this, am I?
The worst he can do is yell at me as I pack up my bag, then I'm out of his hair for the weekend.
Any plans?
I don't do plans. I'm gonna kick back, veg out, and I'll work it out from there.
So true. Skills are absolutely, unmistakably nothing alike.
So, you satisfied I'm not gonna bail out on you then?
Yeah. Sorry for bothering you. Just trying my best.
No worries. We'll get Millie through the next semester. Just trust me.
Here's hoping. One week later. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this 1 week, and then I'm gonna stop for tonight. I've never put much stock in possessions. A couple of plants to care for is just about the only luxury I've got going for me. As my aging bike grinds and creaks out of the school gate, however, I realize I might be taking my frugality too far. I need to pick up some grease for this thing sometime instead of just hoping it'll keep going. Turning into the street, I notice the old trolley slowly rattling onwards from its stop beside the campus. I might want to try and keep up with it as best I can, but I don't want to risk a bike being how it is. The platform lies empty of students, except a lone woman leaning on a light pole and listening to music. So to stop as our eyes meet. I idle up beside her and put a foot on the ground to steady myself.
Mr. Trolley?
Hey! Try as I might, it's hard to read anything on a placid face.
Something like that.
Everything she says has an air of aloofness to it. Maybe I should find that snooty or arrogant, but I think that's just how she is, rather than anything intentional. Haley visibly thinks to herself for a moment, rubbing the back of her neck. Finally coming to some sort of decision, she takes off her headphones and addresses me properly.
Hey, how far is your place from here?
Not too far. Close enough to bike at least.
Sounds good.
Huh?
She tilts her head like the answer should be obvious.
You can visit if you want, but I have work in a couple hours.
That's fine.
Oh, glad that's been mutually decided at least. With that, I start for home, Haley trailing along beside me. Well, that's one way to get someone to visit, I guess. After leaning my bike against the wall, I follow Haley in and close the door behind me. Just a look of a tourist, eyes darting from one area to another.
I didn't know anyone was coming, so it's a bit shabby. Don't get many visitors, really.
I was actually thinking how clean everything is.
Picky to a normally enigmatic persona's an air of disbelief. I'm a bit mystified until I remember how their apartment was, and that was when I knew I was coming over. At least she's talking now. The ride here in total silence was one of the most strange experiences I've ever had. Something's eating at her, even I can tell that much by this point. Before I work out how to fill the air between us, Haley's eyes fall on the old console sitting under my even older television. She pushes her chin out towards it, a rare gleam of interest sparkling in her eyes.
That old thing still work?
Who knows? You can try if you want. I don't get much use out of it.
I want to talk to her about where this all came from, but the timing never quite seems to feel right. Haley picks up a controller as I fill it with the Modus pile of games, nodding to the first I hold up before I put it in, a fighting game I've tried a couple times. No sooner do I take a seat beside her and start up a match, and I put on the back foot. She pushes me to the edge of the map before juggling me into the air and comboing me over and over. Her work done as the round is cold, she slumps back into the cushions. I managed to do a bit of damage, but it's already clear that I don't have a chance of winning any further rounds. Well, if nothing else, at least this is a welcome distraction from studies and work. We start another round, I try my best, but this goes about as well as the last. The match finally over and Haley easing off the controller, I get a chance to address the elephant in the room.
So, anything on your mind?
I assume the other two had a fight while they were home, and she tried to get out of it.
Just tired. Not with school or anything, just those two.
Are things really that bad?
I was about to go home on the trolley, but when the doors opened, I just...
Oh, you weren't home yet. I see. Haley trails off unsure how to explain herself, or rather, stopping herself from doing so. She puts the controller down and sighs.
Maybe I should just live alone like you. Nice and quiet here.
You don't sound super convincing.
You got me.
She leans back into the couch. I'm not sure if that signifies a pause or an end to this conversation.
I guess I just forgot how much I missed having a normal life with those two till you came around.
Oh.
Me?
You coming over for lunch the other day was the first time in forever that apartment felt... ordinary. It's rare to see Millie that open and talkative at home. It was nice.
I wonder how long that fight has been going on. Because they must have known each other for quite a while, and this is a big fight. I can almost make out the corners of her lips curl into a smile, but they're back to a frown before they get all the way there.
And then Caprice came home and got in Millie's face about the wine she left on the counter.
She sits there staring into space as she recounts how the day ended. As she finishes the thought, her eyes meet mine and she corrects her posture as if just remembering I was there.
Sorry for making this weird.
You're good.
She's quick to break eye contact soon after my response, retreating back to her thoughts.
You should have seen them before all this. You'd barely recognize them.
That's the impression I get, yeah.
She thinks a little, hesitating a moment before taking her phone from her pocket. A minute later, she pokes about on it. Taps on the screen and shows it to me.
What's this?
Oh yay!
A photo from about a year back, with Millie and Caprice. I've held on to it ever since.
By the way, the prequel story, the one that's free to play, apparently focuses on Allison and Eileen, if I remember the names correctly. The first snow. So basically, everyone in the art club is recurring characters from the other game. Seems like. A group of friends crammed into a tiny room. I recognize the others as the art club members, but Caprice and Millie definitely steal my attention away, both smiling wide.
It was their first college party together. I wasn't actually there, but they both lit right up while telling me about it. They told me all about the new friends they were making, the art club that Caprice made, how Millie was going to lead the big writing club soon and do all sorts of stuff with them. They had everything lined up for the future and were excited to get to it. It was easy to get caught up with their energy at the time.
What happened? She thinks on her words before abruptly locking her phone and slipping it back into her pocket. I think I've seen Haley rattle like that before. Passing her on the street only highlights a sudden quiet.
I guess it didn't really turn out like that. Sorry again. I didn't mean to come over here and dump this all on you.
It's okay, I asked.
No, really, it's fine.
Basically.
I can't even begin to imagine what things must be like at your place nowadays. I'm surprised someone like you would be friends with two people who are so outgoing. Not that I mean that in a bad way. I
get what you mean. We met in high school. Well, more like they found me during high school.
You make it sound like they picked up a stray cat.
That's basically how it went. The two of them were practically inseparable. Picked up a new friend to share. Back when they were so gung-ho about their clubs, part of me was happy that they'd found friends who could keep up with them, who wouldn't be holding them back.
You and me might be in the same boat. I really admire Millie's passion, but I get tired just thinking about keeping pace with her sometimes.
There it is again. It's only slight, but the tug at the corner of her mouth shows she's feeling the same thing I am. Slight sense of camaraderie in our shared situation, dealing with two impossible people. With that, Haley picks herself up off the couch and takes a long stretch.
Thanks for letting me come over. I'd better let you get to work.
Yeah, that's good.
Sure. You gonna be okay getting back?
Yeah, the walk could be worse. I could do with the exercise anyway.
That's not what I meant.
It'll be fine. I just needed a break.
Alright. As she walks over to make her leave, Haley stops and looks back from the half-open door.
Oh, an Olive?
Yeah?
Thanks again for coming over the other day.
Anytime.
No problem. Hopefully we can get Caprice around next time.
Yeah. Hopefully. Catch you.
Yeah, catch you.
Strides out the door and shuts it behind her. With my guest gone and work imminent, I sink forth into the couch cushions for lack of anything else to do. See, this would kill me. Having shifts that just start sometime, I don't know, in the afternoon or something. Because I'm the type I just get paralyzed with decisions where it's like, oh god, what do I do now? Like, oh, I have to be somewhere in, I don't know, 3 hours. And I will sit there. I'm like, well, technically I could fit this and that in those 3 hours, but I will not. I will not be doing that. I will just sit there like, waiting for those 3 hours to go by, which sucks when you want to get stuff done, not gonna lie. This is nice though.
Like, what's in the extras? Can I see anything in the extras already? No. Complete one path, complete both paths, and then an extra thingy for unlocks, okay. And the music from the original soundtrack, nice. And the ones we haven't heard in-game yet, we cannot hear, cannot listen to. Okay, that's fair. Thank you for the pet. Well, we're gonna definitely read both paths. The paths are literally just... So there's really not too many choices in there. The paths are just... Well, you either join art or you join the creative writing class. And then it's apparently a little like, oh, depending on which one of the other club members you hang out with or something. And I guess we have chosen Tanya now. Thank you for the hype time. But yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. Sorry about the sudden change with Final Fantasy 15. But yeah, I'll try to get that fixed so next time is not gonna be like today was. Oh, we're gonna end here tonight because I am tired. I'm tired, so I'm gonna send you guys over to Tele, who is playing Dave the Diver. I've seen so many people play Dave the Diver, and I still have pretty much no idea what it's about. So, except diving, apparently. And I assume your character's called Dave or something. Oh yeah, here's a raid message. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for coming by, even with my... I guess it wouldn't be a new stream if it wasn't a little bit scuffed. We'll keep going with this game next week for sure. I frankly am unsure what I'm gonna play. I'll actually play World of Horror tomorrow or this game. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. I'm not used to being back to a schedule again. I'll be for real. But yeah, thank you so much for coming by. Have a good night, everyone. See you very, very soon. Got to turn my music on. There it is. Good night. And bye-bye. Bye-bye.